listening to All Chiefed Up.
This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
Chiefs Kingdom ACU crew, welcome back to another live podcast for that ass. It is cut down day and it is coming in fast and furious. So I'm on here to give us a little bit of what's going on. We have got a lot going on just in the last few minutes. This is the most up to date. The Chiefs are going to be cutting Louis Rees-Zammit, former rugby star, according to Jordan Schultz. This is out. They're going to release him. More than likely, he's going to the practice squad. But this is the first big news that we got right this second. Right prior before going on air, we learned that the Chiefs are going to be cutting Kadarius Toney. Toney is out in Kansas City, and Justin Reid is also out. Let me find these pictures for you here, because I'm sure everybody wants to know. Here it is right here. Jordan Schultz. The Chiefs are releasing former Clemson star Justin Ross in case there's a crowded receiver room, making it tough to keep everyone. And then Adam Teichner actually reports that they're going to cut Kadarius Toney, and then Jordan Schultz is also reported as well. Chiefs are releasing Kadarius Toney per multiple sources. It is a wild day, and we knew this was going to happen, man. We knew it was going to happen. We knew the Chiefs were going to do this kind of stuff. I think the whole Juju thing was foretelling and foreshadowing of it. I think that we kind of seen how it was going to go starting yesterday. So it was wild. Our predictions on wide receivers was this: Rice, Brown, Worthy, Schuster, Watson, Moore, and Hardman. And it looks like that might be the case right now. So the only one we haven't really heard word on right now is Nico Remigio. He could be the one that slides in over Moore or Hardman. I just don't see it. I don't see it, guys. The way the Chiefs are looking like they're going here is they are giving up on anybody with ceilings, and I know people's going to say that with Moore as well. And you got a great argument there, but I think they'll keep him at least one more season. I think Remigio will probably be on the outs. But yeah, Justin Ross's time, Kadarius Toney's time is over. Now they probably will try to put them on the practice squad, but I feel like somebody is going to clear them off waivers or whatever it is they have to do. I just don't see how they're going to make that through. So it's coming in fast. It's coming in furious right now. We'll have to see what the next move is. Let me know in the chat, though. Are you guys, which one are you more bummed about? Are you more bummed about LRZ, Justin Ross? Are you more bummed about Kadarius Toney? We seen earlier today that they waived Irv Smith Jr., so that's a thing. They actually waived Irv. We kind of seen that one coming. I think we kind of knew that was the way they were going to go. Yesterday, we had said Travis Kelce, Noah Gray, and Jared Wiley was the way they were going to go. I think that also means that Crocky J is firmly on the roster. He's going to be on the roster. He earned it. The fullback position's coming back to Kansas City. And, Kadarius Toney, Irv Smith, LRZ, and Justin Ross are all out. So, it is what it is. We all kind of knew this was coming. It was written in the cards here just a few days ago, or yesterday even, with the Juju Smith-Schuster signing. Look, if you're going to go out and you're going to say, hey, we'll take Juju, we'll sign him instantly, he'll come in and do one practice, he's guaranteed a roster spot, you obviously didn't do enough to win the job. So I think Kadarius Toney done this to himself. He's had plenty of chances. He couldn't stay healthy. How many more chances can you give the guy? You just can't. I think there's a high ceiling there, but look, he wasn't working in the offseason during the non-mandatory OTAs. He didn't come in on the voluntary. It just didn't seem like he was trying to get better. It really didn't. Like, there were so many chances for him, and he wasn't capitalizing on it. So yeah, let's get to the chat here. I appreciate all you guys being here for me. If you don't care, give me a like on this. Get it out to more people. If you're watching on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, no matter where you're at, appreciate you. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a like. Share it with your friends. We're gonna go through here for the next hour or so. The Chiefs have to have all the roster cuts done by 4 p.m., 3 p.m. Central. So that's giving us about 2 more hours. And I would say the majority of them are going to start funneling in here very, very soon. I think it was last year, though, Brett Veach did wait to the very, very last minute to put through like the final 5 to 10. But I would say that most of the big ones are going to come. So, look, Justin Ross, I mean, that's a pretty big one. I think a lot of Chiefs Kingdom wanted Justin Ross, and they didn't want to give up on Justin Ross. And it's very possible he could still slide through, get to the practice squad. That's a very good possibility. But at the same time, I feel like a team like Buffalo or Cincinnati or the Chargers, somebody like that is going to want to stick it to the Chiefs, and I think that they're going to just pick them up and try to see what they can get. And to be honest, guys, he didn't really fit our offense all that well. I mean, let's just be honest. He didn't really fit in on the offense very well to what we run. So it's not that surprising. Also, he messed up on some of his, his alignment during the Bears game. He didn't. There was one play where they called a timeout. Andy got irritated with him. He had plenty of chances. He played a lot of snaps in the preseason, and he made a few decent catches. Let's be honest. But his play style just doesn't work here. It just doesn't work. It's not what Andy likes to do in his offense. You've seen it time and time again. He's tried to bring in these bigger receivers, from Kelvin Benjamin to Josh Gordon, and now Justin Ross. It's just another one along the lines. Even MVS didn't really do too well here. And, I mean, it's just one of those things where they have a certain type of receiver, and you can see it. It's all these receivers they're doing. Juju seemed to work pretty well when he was here. Again, Juju took the mic today. At practice, and he said he does not expect to put up the same numbers he did on his first stint in KC because there are a lot of mouths to feed and a lot of weapons. We heard this last year from Richie James when we all thought he was going to come in and contribute, and he actually had a pretty good preseason, and then nothing, actually came of it. But I do believe that we see the direction they're going to go in the wide receiver room. I believe the last 2 to make the team is going to be Hardman, and it's going to be Sky Moore. And I know a lot of people like Steve. I don't preferably think Hardman, in my opinion, I would have loved to have rather seen probably Justin Ross or somebody like that. Maybe even Kadarius Toney have another year. We're just not huge fans of Mecole Hardman. Not saying that he's not good, but it's just one of those things where it's like we feel like he hit his peak. But again, who cares? If Andy wants it, and Andy thinks Mecole Hardman is that because he's familiar with the playbook, there's a little bit of trust with Mahomes, then I'm fine with it. So be it. Andy makes the better decisions. Andy is the championship head coach. And, we're just talking about it. So I fully believe this is what they're going to do. I think they're going to give Sky Moore 1 more year. I think that's going to be the way it goes. I'd be very surprised to see them keep Nico over Sky Moore or Nico over Hardman at this point. I feel like with them bringing back Juju, I do feel like they're wanting familiarity, and I feel like that's probably a very good indication. I said it yesterday. I felt like that was a good indication that Mecole Hardman's probably in the driver's seat to get that wide receiver 7 spot. And so we'll see how it goes. But, yeah, it's looking like Kadarius Toney is out. Justin Ross is out. Irv Smith is out. LRZ is out as of right now. But, look, we all knew LRZ was coming. Like, let's talk about LRZ for a minute. I know a lot of people want to talk about LRZ, and they're kind of bummed about that one. LRZ is just one that we all kind of knew was going to happen. Look, he had to win this based off just kick return. And I know the new kickoff rule and everything, and him coming from rugby, that's something that everybody thought he would be able to do. And he did it okay. But look, you got to contribute more than just special teams. So we knew it was going to be hard. There throughout, maybe giving him a 50-50 shot to make the team. I think the coaching staff and Andy Reid and Brett Veach and just the front office, I think they give him every opportunity in the world to prove what he could do. And so I believe that's why I said 50-50, because I do believe that he has the work ethic. He has the will to do this. Problem is, you've seen it on the field. it just wasn't there for him. He hadn't played football, his entire life. There was a lot of things he was playing catch up on, man. And some of these guys have been playing since they were 4, 5, 6 years old. It made it tough, but he's going to go to the practice squad. Nobody's going to pick up LRZ and throw him on a 53-man roster. I just firmly believe that. I don't think that that's going to happen. He will end up on the practice squad. Now, it looks like Chew Godric is probably also going to end up on the practice squad, and he got the international player designation. So they will have to use a roster spot probably on LRZ, which is completely fine. I think they will do that. Maybe they decide to cut Chew and just stick with LRZ with the exempt spot, or maybe Chew accidentally slides onto the roster. That's a very good possibility as well. The line is not super deep this year compared to years past. You're probably gonna have Lucas Niang slide onto the team again, but Chew Godric's pushing him for it. I would say that CJ Hansen, 7th round pick, he could also be a guy that maybe is on or is he off. We debated about that. We put him on initially. Steve tends to think that maybe he's a practice squad guy, and he very well could be. So there's a lot of linemen there. There's a lot of different ways this could go the rest of the way, and we'll just have to keep a lookout on it. But yeah, right now, those are the biggest ones. Let me know in the comments which ones that you guys are just, a little tore up about. Let me know. And I appreciate you guys being here, by the way. Shout out BetUS for sponsoring this one right here, powering us through this little roster watch we got going on right now. So appreciate you guys being here. Hit that thumbs up, hit that like button, get this out to more people. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We've got a 2-bomb from our boy Chief KT. He says Ross not knowing where to line up was the end. And yeah, 100%. If you watch that play, if you go back and watch that play, if you have the if you've got NFL Plus app, or you've got something where you can go back and watch that replay, go find that play. It's pretty obvious. I think people's put it on X. You can see Andy Reid under the bottom. He's at the bottom of the screen. He's under the scoreboard where the Bears like little graphic is down there. And you can see he is frustrated. He is mad. I think it was McCole Hardman that was trying to put him in position. He was running. He wasn't on the right side of the field. You got to get better. I mean, he has to be better than that. You have to win mentally. It's not just about being physical. You've got to do things mentally. And I just don't know if he was there. I don't know if he grasped the concepts. It could be also a little unfair. Maybe he was just confused on that one play, and he never, ever missed anything else the rest of the time he was in camp. And maybe this doesn't really go into it. We all do not really know this to be just blunt. But I will say that's probably a pretty big reason. I will agree with you, Chief KT. I think that's probably a good reason. And this is why, again, I think they went out and grabbed Juju. You've seen it today, by the way. The Panthers released Terrace Marshall, and there was a lot of people pounding the table for the Chiefs to maybe make a trade on Terrace Marshall out of LSU. And we all kind of thought he was going to get cut, and Brett Veach did not wait around for that. He chose to go sign Juju Smith-Schuster and bring him back because he wanted that familiarity. And I think that was the last straw for Andy. He's like, look, we're not going to rely on these young guys. I want people that know the playbook. I want them to be in the right spot. I don't want Patrick to not throw to a spot or to not run a play or be in his head because these receivers are not in the right place. And I do believe that's why Sky Moore had the leg up over some of these guys. I believe Sky Moore knows the playbook better than Kadarius Toney. He knew it better than Justin Ross. He knows it better than Cornell Powell. He knows it better than Montrell Washington. Probably Nico as well. He knows it better than all these guys, and that's why I think Sky Moore got the pass this year. He does have to pick it up. Next year's not guaranteed. And to be honest, he's probably not, I mean, it's not 100% guaranteed right now. Like, they could still come out and say Nico. I just don't see it happening. Maybe the Chiefs just decide to take 6 and take McCole Hardman and go ahead and cut him. That's also a possibility. I think it's a small possibility with Hollywood Brown being injured, though, that they do not take 5 or they do not take 7. And they would elect to go to 6. I just don't see it with that injury. But I appreciate the 2-bomb, KT. We got a 5 from SA Flip, our boy Flip. He says, what team can Justin Ross excelling at the most? Which team do you see him excelling with the most? Apparently not with the back-to-back champs. Yeah, our offense just don't fit him. It doesn't fit him. It doesn't fit those big-bodied receivers. It doesn't fit the guys that go up for 50-50 balls. That was another reason I thought it was weird that a lot of people, do you guys remember – it was just a year or two ago. People were trying to get rid of Creed Humphrey for T. Higgins. Do you guys not remember that whole thing going around Chiefs Twitter and stuff? I'm like, well, I would gladly, trade Creed Humphrey for T. Higgins. Like, that was a stupid, like, we should have had T. Higgins. Then in the offseason, well, we got to go pay T. Higgins. Let's hope T. Higgins, don't sign his contract and they don't franchise tag him. Let's get T. Higgins. T. Higgins is that guy. He's that big-bodied wide receiver that is going to need those jump balls on a lot of plays because he don't necessarily get a lot of separation. Pat doesn't throw that. Our offense isn't like really built around that, to be honest. And I know T. Higgins transcends the athleticism and the receiving prowess of a Justin Ross and a Kelvin Benjamin and all those kinds of, Josh Gordon. I fully understand that, but still, you've got a guy that just does not seem to fit in this offense. Andy Reid and them do not draft these wide receivers. We all think it's going to happen. We thought they were looking at Javon Baker this year, the bigger body. It was kind of a surprise when they went with Rashee Rice. Now, the funny thing is, Rashee Rice actually came into his own, and he's proven to be an asset. If we could keep him off the interstate in Dallas, it would be even better. But I think he's going to have a big year, and he proved, halfway, 2/3 the way through the season last year, he's a valuable asset. And this year, he's going to be even better. And so not all big wide receivers will struggle, but Rashee Rice he can get open. He can separate. He is not constricted like the way Justin Ross is. Justin Ross is just not a very good separation type of guy. And neither is Kelvin Benjamin and some of these big guys. They're just not. Andy Reid and them, that's why they'll go out and they'll trade up for a Xavier Worthy. That some people felt wasn't even a first-round pick. Us included, we thought he was maybe 35 to 40, somewhere in that range, and they went up and got him. That's their guy, and they're going to use him, and you've seen in the preseason it's worked. So that's what they want. They don't like the big bodies. Sorry. And, I mean, this does hold some hope for the Nico people. He's got a shot here because Nico is that. He is that. He's the smaller guy that can get open in space. He can beat up a zone. He catches just anything that comes to him. He's good with special teams. That is a positive. And I do think in the end, though, they're going to try to sneak Nico onto the practice squad. But I appreciate the 5-bomb from Flip. And then to answer your question, where do I see him excelling most at? Cincinnati would be a good one. Go learn from T. Higgins for a year, and if they don't get that contract done, he could probably do. Joe Burrow throws up the moon ball. Go to Buffalo. Josh Allen lives off the 50-50 moon ball. That's all he does. Why do you think his turnover rate's so high? That's what he does. Patrick is just not one of those guys that wants to do that. Technically, he's never had that guy throughout his career because of Kansas City. The guy he would throw it up to the most down the field and just chuck it down there was Tyreek Hill, who's 5'10". Like, he's never really had that big jump ball guy. Now, you did see him do it against the Vikings. Justin Ross made a good play against the Vikings, but Justin Ross also caught 2 balls and dropped 2 balls against the Vikings. So he had a 50% drop rate that game. He's not super reliable. His hands could have been a little better. He doesn't really get a lot of separation. Did I think he'd done a lot to get on the team this year? I thought he'd give it a very valiant effort. It was a very good shot that he was trying to give it to get on the roster. It just didn't work out that way. So appreciate the 5-bomb, man. I really do. Appreciate you, Flip. KT for the 2. If you guys got any questions, throw them in there. That's the easiest way for me to see them. It's hard for me by myself because you notice Steve's not here today. Steve is at work. Steve's not getting to get in on the fun and on the action. So if you want my attention, I hate to be that guy, but I'm probably not going to see it unless it gets starred and thrown right into my lap because it's hard to do. I'm looking around. I'm trying to find some stuff. So just come through the wire. Let's throw this one up right now. We've got Sam McDowell reporting that the Chiefs are going to cut Deneric Prince per a league source. Deneric Prince looks to be getting the axe here, guys. And this was one we debated on. A lot of people said this was weird, but I mean, we said this was going to happen. You could just kind of feel it. Pacheco and Clyde, I think, is going to be the 2. We said Steele was going to be on there. They got him listed as a fullback, but this dude can carry the rock. We already know this. So that's going to be your 3. And look, I honestly think the Chiefs may. The Chiefs just might go out and look at some people. You've got P. Ryan that's probably going to get cut from Denver. You got a few other guys. James Robinson, remember him? He used to play for the Jags. He got cut from the Saints. There's a lot of guys, becoming available. There's some decent, what will we say? Some decent talent coming up. I think I tweeted this out just a little earlier. This right here, Nope, that's not the right one. My bad. Bear with me here. Right here. Notable cuts so far. So look, Caleb Farley, the corner. A lot of people, that's a former first-round corner right there that the Titans are cutting. But Terrace Marshall Jr., Desmond King, James Robinson made the list. Boston Scott, Matt Breida. You've got some running backs that the Chiefs could go look at. Jerome Carvin, he was with the Chiefs. They were going to put him on IR. They ended up reaching a settlement. He wanted to go somewhere else and play. He didn't just want to be stuck on the IR. He wanted to go beat it, go somewhere else. He ended up getting cut, but I think the Chiefs could maybe look back into him because we need some offensive line depth, and they kind of liked him. Matt Breida, he's fast. He's pretty reliable. Boston Scott, another little guy that can chunk off some stuff, but I mean, he's pretty good catching the ball out of the backfield. He's fast. We thought the Chiefs may have looked at him in free agency. He ended up signing somewhere else and ended up getting cut now. I don't know how his health is. I don't know why he got cut. I'm pretty sure that it was the Rams. But look, Allen Robinson, people were banging the table for Allen Robinson just 2 years ago, and now he got cut today. Could he come in cheap? Could that be somewhere they look? I don't really think none of these guys are going to get a look. I think every one of these guys will want to go somewhere where they can make the 53-man initially. And to be honest, I don't think any of these guys crack the 53-man initially. I do not see that happening, so I would see these as all being practice squad kind of guys. I don't see Caleb Farley wanting to say, hey, I'll come into a practice squad. I don't see Marshall coming into a practice squad. Allen Robinson, probably not either. But Torrey, Breida, Carvin, those are guys you could look at. Maybe, I don't know if you'd put Breida on the roster necessarily, but you have now carved out a spot for another running back with Deneric Prince out, with LRZ out. Look, Amani Bailey and Keontae Ingram, it's just a matter of time before those two get cut. So again, you're going to have Pacheco, Clyde, and you're going to have our boy Carson Steele riding that crocodile with that beautiful Fabio hair, just breaking faces, just breaking tackles and breaking faces and going to pay dirt. That's what he does. It's going to be a big, beautiful time here in Kansas City this year, but they do possibly need that fourth running back. They could go. I think a Matt Breida would fit nicely into this. You know, I think Boston Scott might fit in a little bit, you know, get a little shiftiness. Andy and them like those little shifty backs. Who knows where they're going to go? James Robinson, a lot of people liked him. He's a guy that can catch the ball out of the backfield. I think he played, where did he play college? Was it Southern Illinois, Central Illinois, somewhere up in there. But let me tell you, this guy can flat out play too. So Brett Veach has options here. He has options, and I would not be surprised if a running back does not get added at a later time, and then maybe an initial 53 guy gets dropped off. We've seen that last year with Matt Dickerson. He was going off, on. So yeah, you'll see it like that. Let me get back here, and let's look around for some more cuts coming through, for anything coming through. It's looking like I don't really see nothing left. Charles Goldman reports by his count, the Chiefs have 18 more moves to make. Okay, so let's think about this, guys. 18 more moves to make. I'll go ahead and pull this screen off. I'll get back up here on the, I'll just be up here and just interact with you a little bit. Won't be so diving down in the corner. But look, they got 18. Is that what he said? I'm sporadic right now. 18 moves to make. Look, we already know Amani Bailey is probably gone, and let's say Keontae Ingram. So now they're down to 16 moves to make. I'm going to go ahead and say DJ Miller from the DB room is probably going to be a safe cut. I think that's 3. So I think now you're down to 15 presumable moves. A lot of that's coming out of the linebacker room. You're going to have to cut one or 2 or 3 of these guys. I mean, you've got Bozeman, you've got Curtis Jacobs, you've got Cam Jones, you've got Cole Christensen. I think everybody else is pretty much a lock, but there's your, are they taking 5? Are they taking 6? Your DBs, are we going to be able to take Kamal Hadden? Is he going to get cut? We just drafted him, but it's not looking great. They did go ahead and cut Kelvin Joseph yesterday. Kelvin Joseph struggled versus the Bears. He got those 2 penalties early, you know, and he made 1 or 2 little plays after that, but it just did not outweigh the negative there. But yeah, there's a lot of guys here that could still. I mean, you're going to have to cut Oladokun. That's another cut. He's not making the team over Wentz. Obviously, they're taking 2. So Oladokun's now off that list. So that goes from 18 to 14. So presumably, you've only got to make about 14 more cuts, and It's going to be weird. And again, 3 of those are going to be linebackers, presumably. 2 or 3 of those are going to be DBs. You're probably going to have 1 or 2 more safeties cut, whether it be Chris Roland Wallace, Deion Bush, whichever way they want to go there. Are they going to count Chamari Connor as a DB? Are they going to leave him as a safety? On the website, on the Chiefs official roster, and in all the depth charts, he's being reported as a DB, not a safety. They're just putting DB next to him. So will they let him take a corner number? Will they put him on the safety? They could elect to put him down in the corner, okay? And then that could allow them to take maybe a Deion Bush for special teams purposes. Maybe Chris Roland Wallace actually beat out people in that room and they like him. That's a very good possibility as well. But I think we're pretty much in the books that this is going to be the quarterbacks. I think the running backs are completely sealed up, so we've hit all those. The tight end is completely here. I think it's Kelsey, Gray, and Wiley. I don't see any 3 of those getting cut. Now, look, they haven't cut Baylor Cupp yet. That's another probably obvious cut coming. So now you're probably down closer to the 11 to 12 range. But so far, QB, running back, fullback, we've hit all those. Wide receiver, it looks like we're going to hit wide receiver. I just don't see how Sky Moore and Mecole Hardman aren't the 2 they name. Now, look, it still could be Nico. I know a lot of people are rooting for Nico. I would take Nico over Mecole Hardman just for the fact that I believe Juju now offers his game to Mecole Hardman is not a 1-per-1, per se, but he does know the playbook. He's familiar. He's probably not as reliable, though, with injuries. Mecole Hardman has faced a lot of injuries over the past year to year and a half. But before that, Mecole Hardman wasn't really an injury kind of guy, and Juju's still battling that knee. I think the big one here that's going to be wild on the offensive side to see if we can actually nail all these picks is the offensive side. Okay, look, so Humphrey Smith, Tooney, Suamataia, and Jawan Taylor are there. And Wanye's not getting cut. Like, you almost know Wanye's not getting cut. So to me, I feel like Caliendo's pretty safe because he can do shades. He can do shades of what Allegretti done last year. So I do believe Caliendo's pretty safe. Now, look, Lucas Niang was getting second team snaps. Once Jawan Taylor was injured and couldn't play in that last game, a couple games in the preseason. So I feel like Lucas Niang's probably going to make this out of necessity because, yes, Wanye can be a swing tackle, but he's battling injuries. He's got the knee injury right now, and I do believe Lucas Niang is probably a guy that's just a comfortable swing tackle for Andy. I think they'll go ahead and keep him. Hunter Norzad, I believe he's done enough. He's kind of like an Allegretti type guy. CJ Hansen is the one. So CJ Hansen is the one. Now, look, I seen him be able to pull. I seen him pulling and making good blocks in the preseason. I thought he done very well going from preseason game 1 to preseason game 3. I like him. I think he's enough to make the roster. But, look, he could presumably go to the practice squad. Now, look, who would you put in? If CJ Hansen, if it's not Hansen, you could go Ethan Driscoll. That is a name out of Marshall, the tackle. I thought he done very well. Ethan Driscoll, in my opinion, I don't know if Andy feels like he's better than Lucas Niang at knowing the playbook and where to be right now. I mean, they're probably light years away on that. But I like the upside for Driscoll a lot better than Niang. So if they tried to just keep Niang and Driscoll, and maybe you put Hansen on the practice squad, if they don't think Driscoll can get through waivers and get on the practice squad, I firmly believe that he probably could. I don't think anybody would be willing to pick up Driscoll right now and throw him on the 53. So, yeah, I still think this is probably where I want to go with it. CJ Hansen is the oddball. But then you got to ask yourself, well, if CJ Hansen don't go, you're not taking 8 wide receivers. You're not doing it. And they've already shown that they're not taking Irv Smith, and they have now cut Deneric Prince. So feasibly, where's that other guy going? So it's either CJ Hansen or Ethan Driscoll right there, and I believe one of those 2 guys will be on the roster. That's the way it's probably going to be. I don't see them doing anything differently than that. Let's just be completely honest. They could trade or sign for another running back, but, it is what it is. People are they're just beside themselves right now. We have our boy Lance from The Spoken. Let's bring this up. He's beside himself. We know who and what Sky Moore is. Not a good football player. Keeping it for another season would make 0 sense. Yeah, but financially it makes good sense. Somebody that knows the playbook makes great sense. Okay. The Chiefs don't care about our feelings. They don't care about what we interpret things. And this is where I feel like a lot of the disconnect comes in with you guys, because when we say the Chiefs are going to keep Sky Moore, it's not because we think Sky Moore is the greatest. We're trying to tell you guys what we think the Chiefs are going to do from a Chiefs perspective, not necessarily our perspective. And a lot of people, Lance included right now, he is wanting to go from his perspective. In his eyes, he don't see how Sky Moore makes the team. In his eyes, Sky Moore doesn't do anything. From Andy and Brett Veach, who are the professionals here, guys, and it's in Veach we trust, okay, until it's a guy we don't like, and then everybody comes after him. This is just what they want. They want guys that know the playbook and this is going to be in the right spot. And for everybody that says Sky Moore doesn't run routes properly and this and that, I think this proves you wrong. That's never been a thing. I don't know who come up with that. I don't know who showed that, but they obviously was not right, and this has always been a stigma the entire way. Our boy Eddie High does a lot of good footage in camp. He says they're keeping CEH, LOL. Yeah, again, that's another one. That's another one that we can talk about. We've said last year the Chiefs are keeping CEH. I don't think they were cutting him this time. You've got to look at it from the Chiefs standpoint, not what we like. Don't let feelings get in the way, and don't get personal preference get in the way. The Chiefs like these guys. These guys are good locker room guys. They're just... everybody can't be a Pro Bowler. That's just not the way it is. The Chiefs understand that. They want different things for different things. Let's put it that way. I'm going to tell you, man, this one hits kind of rough. This one hits rough for me. Let me bring this one up for you. We got a new cut. Yeah, we've got a new wave here, and here it is, man. This one hits a little rough for me. Our boy Swayze Bozeman has been waived. Now, look, pretty obvious that he was probably going to be waived. The dude fought a lot of injuries at Southern Miss. He's fought injuries his entire time in college. The dude works hard. He's good. I think he's in the right spot. You've seen him make some flash plays against the Lions in week 2 of the preseason. 7 tackles. I believe he was rated like in the 80s. He was one of the highest rated linebackers to play in the entire preseason. He says it right here. If he clears waivers, he's a candidate for the practice squad. Firmly believe that. Swayze Bozeman was one of my top 5 to 6 guys that I thought the Chiefs would probably look to put on the practice squad. Shout out Swayze Bozeman. I know that he's a fan. I know that he watches. I know his family watches. We appreciate you guys. We will continue to support Swayze. And it still holds true. If Swayze does get a practice squad invite and Swayze Bozeman ends up with the Chiefs for the season and he stays on the practice squad, I am going to find me a Swayze Bozeman jersey, because why not? Who doesn't want to have a little Swayze Bozeman action? So shout out Swayze. You played well all preseason, man. You deserve to be on this team in some capacity. Cracking this 53-man roster is hard. Okay, this is the back-to-back world champions. Do not get down. Anybody that's getting cut, don't get down. You're going to go to the practice squad. You're going to go somewhere else. It's hard to make this team. This isn't just any Joe Blow team out here. This is the back-to-back, soon to be the back-to-back champs. Okay, so let it ride. Keep your head up. Keep grinding. Swayze, keep grinding. You're going to be on the practice squad, baby. I'm just going to throw it out there. We're going to have some positive aura out here, baby. The chat is going to throw out some positive aura for you, Swayze, and you're going to be with the Chiefs this year. Being on the practice squad, you may have to play some downs for us if something happens in the injury department. So let's keep that on the back burner, baby. Let's keep that on the back burner. So, yeah. Where am I at? There I am. They were trying to cancel me. The Swayze haters were out here trying to cancel me in the chat, baby. Let's see. I'm going to get back to the chat the best I can right now. It looks to be a little slow. So let's see if I can get to the chat for just a little bit. Ruben, what's up, Ruben? He says, hi, Mike. What do you know of Cam Thomas? Look, Cam Thomas was out of San Diego State. Big-time pass rusher coming out of San Diego State. Like, he wasn't great. At the risk of just sounding cliche, he's just that big-bodied. He can be moved up and down the line. He's kind of like George Karlaftis. He's that prototypical white pass rusher. Let's just be honest. He's that guy. He you know, like I think Aiden Hutchinson kind of broke that mode a little bit. Like in the Bosas, they're a little more upper tier. He's nowhere near George Karlaftis. Let's be honest with that one. He's a tier down. He's probably 2 tiers down. I don't think that the Cardinals used him in the right way. Let's be completely honest there. Sometimes they were standing him up. They were using him at linebacker. I think he's a hand-in-the-dirt kind of guy. He can play in the Spags NASCAR packages. He's going to go inside, outside. The Chiefs love that versatility. I think he will be serviceable. Let's be honest. I think he probably has more sacks than Felix Anudike-Uzomah right now, who, by the way, looked good coming in off of mandatory OTAs. I thought in week 1 of the preseason he was looking decent, and then he just never got to that next step in the preseason. I am hoping that Felix is going to figure this out and not turn into the bust everybody's trying to put on him. I am hoping for his sake and for Brett Veach and everybody else's sake. Brett Veach does not have the greatest track record of drafting early defensive ends. We've seen it with Breeland Speaks, and look, Breeland got cut again today. He got cut again today, so poor Breeland. Maybe they'll give him another shot to get back in the red and gold. Who knows? But the Chiefs definitely needed some defensive line help. Like, I felt like I was the only guy in the world all offseason saying, where's our defensive line help? Why are we not going out and looking at better defensive tackles, better defensive ends? We're literally going to play 80% of the snaps with George Karlaftis and Mike Dana until Charles Omenihu gets back. And I know Omenihu was blowing smoke all offseason, telling us he's going to be ready for week 1, and he's getting back in August. They just come out today and said he's probably not coming back till November, which is exactly what I said, which was exactly what the doctors were saying, and everybody bought into the hype, and everybody believed it. But we all knew it. So look, again, we didn't get Omenihu for the first 4 to 5 weeks last year. We're not going to get him for the first 6 to 8 weeks this year. There's not that much pass rush. Felix he's not come around the way we thought he was. I mean, you can hold out hope all you want, but he's just not there right now. And defensive end and getting after the passer is what's causing these corners right now to look like they're on an island out there and they're getting beat over and over again. And we're talking about CB2 sucks. Look, CB2, these are the same CB2s we had last year with L'Jarius Sneed. Okay, what's the difference? We were getting after the passer. But we've just not, and again, we've not played the first team a lot, but even our second and third string guys, our Truman Joneses, our Malik Herrings, they just didn't do it. They didn't get after the passer. They didn't do nothing in the preseason. I thought they would probably take Herring and Jones. It's still a possibility they take one, maybe both. But Cam Thomas is making the roster right now. So somebody's going down right in that right there. Like somebody's probably moving out. I don't know if it's Herring or Truman Jones. Flip a freaking coin. Like neither one of them has really like turned it on and moved the needle any. But I was saying this, like we have to go get some pass rush, and for some reason, it gets neglected the entire summer, April, May, June, July, and here we are sitting in August 26th yesterday, and they make their first move, a 7th round pick, to go get a guy from Arizona. Like what? What are we doing? Why? We've been sitting on 15 million cap for weeks and weeks. Like there had to be a move to be made. I'll never understand that. I hope it's not something that turns into an Achilles heel like the wide receiver room was last year. So let's just hope not. But I appreciate the question, brother. Worldverse says, what website do you use for tracker? There's plenty of them. A to Z, Charles Goldman does a good one on A to Z. Chiefs Wire has one. There's plenty out there, man. Just go to Google and put in live Chiefs tracker. You're going to find something. I use Twitter a lot. I mean, sometimes Twitter's just as fast or faster than these trackers can keep up with. So yeah, there's that. Twitter's probably the best one to go to be honest. Let me see. Let's see if I can scroll through here and find anything else that's dropped. We're about in that time where it gets a little shaky. Okay, so 10 minutes ago, the Chiefs have waived Chris Oladokun. So Oladokun has been officially waived. Like we just said this. It wasn't even 20 minutes ago we said Oladokun was getting waived. Look, after that Bears preseason game, I don't even know if I put him on the practice squad at this point. My God, can we just go find somebody different? Like I was under the assumption that Oladokun was actually serviceable. And the way that Andy talks about him and the way everybody talks about him and the way, okay, look, invaluable that he won defensive MVP for the AFC Championship game without playing a snap on defense. Why? He simulated Lamar Jackson all week so perfectly. He's got value in that right there. But if something happened to Wentz and now you got to put Oladokun in as your number 2, good night. You better put Patrick Mahomes in a freaking bubble wrap from here to Texas. I mean, this dude needs to be in a fat suit of bubble wrap if you've got to rely on Chris Oladokun to keep our playoff chances alive, because it's not happening. It's not happening. So, good grief. Let's hope we don't have to go to that one, okay? Right now, we got a 10 bomb from my boy, Brett Holloway. What's up, brother? What's good? 10 bomb. Appreciate you, brother. That means a lot. He says, welcome back, Juju. Thanks for doing this live stream. Thank you, Brett, for the 10 bomb. That goes a long way. Appreciate you, brother. You've now paid me my minimum wage for the day for my hour. I appreciate it, my man. You know, a lot of people think I do this for my health. I don't. I do it because I want to be of service to the kingdom, baby. And it's guys like you that keep me powered, and I appreciate it. Yeah, welcome back, Juju. We've seen Juju today. Juju did take the mic. He said that he don't know he'll be ready for game 1 of the preseason. He's not 100% sure he will be ready for game 1 versus the Ravens. And he also said that he said that Hollywood Brown is a flat-out beast. Rashee Rice is a beast. Xavier Worthy is going to be good in this league. He said he's going to do what he can. He knows the playbook. He thought this was best for his career. He's familiar with Patrick. He's familiar with Reed and the staff. 100%. He made a good business decision here, man. Come here, prove to the league. If you're not done, he says he's got a lot of gas left in the tank. If you're not done, come prove it. You're going to win a championship in the process. We're going 3-peat. I mean, that's easy. Come get a ring. Come get your ring and prove that you can still do it, and go out and sign another god-awful deal like the Patriots give you, okay? Somebody will fall for it again. There you go. Beautiful move by Juju. And a lot of people thought that yesterday me and Steve were being negative on the Juju move. Not negative on the Juju move. We both like Juju. If you guys have watched the channel long enough, we were the ones that championed to get Juju his first time here. A lot of people didn't want him, and we said, no, that is the best signing to get at the moment. And that's what happened. Big fans of Juju. Thought we could possibly throw him out a little bit of money to keep him when Brett let him walk over the knee issue, but it looked like the knee issue was a little crazy. I think for us, it was the timing of it. We had a little bit of hard feelings for Brett because we stayed up for 14 hours out of the goodness of our hearts editing a YouTube video for everyone, and Brett Veach squashed it at 9 a.m. thanks to that beautiful signing. Appreciate you, Brett. Maybe you can pay our bills for us next time. Appreciate you, brother. But yeah, that had to be scrapped. We lost an entire night of work. There was a little irritation there because of the timing. And then what's he do? At 11 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., I don't know when it was. It was up into the night last night. Then they announced Cam Thomas trade. So this guy only wants to work in the middle of the freaking night. That's what he did with the Sneed. That's what he was doing all with Hollywood. You name it. It was at 10 p.m., 11 p.m. Good night, Brett. Can you get on a normal schedule here? Help a guy out. Get on a normal schedule, for the love of God. Ron, baby, is a member for 7 months. Appreciate you, Ron. Appreciate you, brother. If you guys want, get that membership. $4.99 right now. Membership. Subscribe to this channel, by the way, if you haven't already. We're about to hit 33,000 subs, which is ridiculous. We give Chiefs content all the time. We'll do stupid crap like this where I'm going live and I'm talking, I'm answering questions. We try to interact. Everybody's welcome. Not everybody always gets along. Everybody thinks we're stupid because we'll try to tell you what we feel the Chiefs will do, not our personal thoughts, which is why people think we're Sky Moore homers. But in the end, it always turns out to be right because we're not looking at it from our personal preferences. We're looking at it from the Chiefs' personal preferences. And so that's one thing you will find here that you will not find in other places, by the way. But get on that membership. It's $4.99. We're giving away signed memorabilia, signed jersey. Last month we gave away a Rashee Rice signed jersey. We've give away so much stuff. And I think this month we're going to give away, I don't even know what we've picked to give away, but we've got so much stuff to give away. It could be a Felix and Udike jersey. It could be, who knows? If it's Felix, I hope that whoever wins this sets it up in a shrine to their house and prays to the sack gods that this guy is going to come around and actually play football. Okay? So maybe we do need to give it away and make sure a witch or a wizard stumbles upon the winnings and gets it done for us. Okay? Because good night. Okay, so we got a little bit of news. Carson Steele has made the roster. Beat reporters are reporting that Carson Steele has made the roster. It looks like he is going to make the roster. They're also saying, and this is kind of wild. Didn't see this coming. This is detrimental to Deion Bush. Detrimental to a guy like Deion Bush, guys. Let me blow that up for you a little bit. Matt Derrick's reporting that undrafted free agent Chris Roland Wallace will make the initial Chiefs 53-man roster. Didn't see that coming. Now, look, the kid was good. He had a good offseason. Did I think he played as well as Khalif Hallisey did last year? Heck no. And they shipped Hallisey out, and now he's with the Browns. But look, this is probably bad news for Deion Bush. I would say Deion Bush is now relegated to the practice squad at best. If this is true, you're not getting rid of Jaden Hicks, Justin Reed, Brian Cook's going nowhere. So it looks like Chris Roland Wallace will be your fourth safety. And this does look like this is going to slide Chamari Connor down to the DB. So Chamari Connor may now take a spot away from a Kamal Hadden. He may take a spot. Look, they cut Echo Boydo last night. DJ Miller's probably on the outs. So this is probably going to do it on maybe Kamal Hadden making the roster right now, in my opinion. This probably relegates Kamal Hadden down to the practice squad. And it probably looks as though if Chris Roland Wallace, if this turns out to be true, if he's on the team, if this turns out to be true, this is probably doing it for guys like Kamal Hadden. The only way he don't is if the Chiefs have a surprise up their sleeve and they go and they decide they don't want to keep, Nazeeh Johnson or something. By the way, Nazeeh Johnson didn't practice again today. Another hammy issue. I don't know where his rehab people went to school. I don't know where maybe he went to the stretch school of Sammy Watkins. I don't know what's going on, but between his hamstrings, this dude is like Sammy Watkins Jr., okay? Get it together. We need you healthy, okay? Last year, he missed the whole year to the ACL. He's been injured basically the entire time back. And love Nazeeh Johnson. Great technique. The kid can flat out play. I think he's still going to be on the roster. I mean, I'm about 99% sure he's on this roster. But, dude, we got to get him healthy. We've got to get him healthy. The training room's got to get him healthy. Either you're rushing him out there you're rushing him out too quick, or he's never been healthy, and we're just misdiagnosing things. But we've got to get it together. But yeah, so right now it's looking like Christian Roland Wallace has made the 53-man roster. That's what it's looking like. Charles Goldman is actually reporting this as well. But they are saying that he's a DB. So he may be a swing DB now. So maybe this isn't bad news for Kamal Hadden. Maybe they'll count him as the swing DB, let Chamari Connor be the designated safety, which means Deion Bush is still out. But with Chris Roland Wallace being an initial DB, you're probably only taking 6, okay? You're probably only taking 6. And to be honest, you might only take 5. You might only take 5. Let me find what we said we would do here. We have McDuffie, Williams, Watson. That's 3. Connor, Nazeeh, and Nick Jones is 6. So it looks like Connor will now go to the safety spot. Christian Roland Wallace will slide in here. So look, if Kamal Hadden is to make this team, he's got to beat out Nick Jones. Now I think Nick Jones has got a leg up on him. Nick Jones also plays the nickel. McDuffie's not going to be able to play that nickel as much as he did last year. He played that nickel almost 60% last year. So again, that is another reason I believe these CB2 is struggling, like they say, because there's not necessarily a full CB1. Trent McDuffie is not a CB1 in the sense of like he's going to be a physical, imposing, shadow the number 1 wide receiver all over the field like L'Jarius Sneed was. He is not that. They are still trying to find him ways to get him in the slot, which means now you've got to have not a CB2, you've got to have a CB1 and a CB2 out of Williams, Watson, Nazeeh Johnson, okay? You've got to have that now. And it doesn't make a lot of sense because why would you need to put him at nickel so much? Okay, you've got Chamari Connor, Nick Jones plays nickel, and by the way, you just drafted Jaden Hicks who can also do the same thing. So look, we've got to get McDuffie out on the boundary a lot more than even he's comfortable with, and we've got to see if he can be that number 1 overall. And honestly, they had to have thought that, or you wouldn't have got rid of L'Jarius Sneed. So you're going to have to do it. You're just going to have to do it. By putting him in the nickel, now you're exposing way too much. You're exposing way too many corners that are CB2 corners in this league, and they're just not CB1 corners. Let's just be honest. We got Yogi with a membership for 10 months. He says, I'd rather have Juju than KT, Ross, and Harmon put together. Appreciate you, brother. I agree. When Juju's healthy, I 100% agree. 100% agree with that when he's healthy. If the knee is an issue and he could miss or he couldn't miss, okay, and it's this and that and everything else, I still probably have him over Harmon and Ross. If it's one of those things where he's going to be just like Kadarius Toney, and you don't know if he's going to play week in or week out, maybe you would have stuck around with Kadarius Toney a little more to get that upside. But to be honest, I think his upside, I think he's cooked. I just don't think there's any upside there. How long are we going to squeeze the frickin' squeeze the grape trying to get the juice out of it? Let's quit with that. But appreciate you there, Yogi. Doug, member for 12 months. He says, respect you, ACU, great channel, and thanks for keeping us informed. Appreciate you, Doug. You're the man. And then we got Rick in here, and he become a new member. Everybody say hey to Rick. Give him a legendary. Give him some ketchup in the chat. Rick Couch, our boy, subscribing to the channel, doing the Lord's work out here, ladies and gents. Let me get back to the chat just a little bit. Brandon Chester says he's over 500 yards for Juju. Yeah, I think last time he was here, he barely missed the 1,000 mark. I think Juju will be somewhere at the end of it. I'm going to say Vegas will come out with probably over under at about 4 to 450. So it looks like you'll take the over there. But that could actually tick up a lot if you was to see Worthy miss some time, if Hollywood Brown's injury lingers just a little bit longer than we thought. If Rashee Rice was the suspension, or Rashee Rice misses a game or two from a hammy or just something minor. Yeah, it could always tick up. For sure. Red says Justin Reed seems like a guy who could take a pay cut. Look, this is his contract year. And Jaden Hicks was a complete accidental pick. Just getting completely passed, and we got him in the 4th round. Jaden Hicks is a stud. He's a flat-out stud. The kid can play. He is Chamari Connor made over. He might even be more athletic than Chamari Connor. He now can do what Justin Reed can do. Now, look, Justin Reed, 2-day diagnoses plays. Excuse me. He diagnoses plays so much better. He's a field general. That's not what Jaden Hicks is right now. In 2 to 3 years, Jaden Hicks will be that, and possibly the way he's going, he could be that by the end of the year into his 2nd year. Now, look, you've got to have Justin Reed this year. I don't think you can cut him or do anything like that. That's crazy. But I will say that this now complicates Justin Reed signing long-term here, in my opinion. Oh, needed that. I'm talking too much, baby. That's what happens when you don't have your partner. When Steve's not here and I can just be like, Steve, would you just talk for a minute? Let me get a drink. Okay. Can't do that. I've got to rudely interrupt. But I appreciate the question, Red. Appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys being here, by the way. I see Becky, Ray. I see Brenda, Brad, Ruben, all you guys in the chat, man. Witchy, just all you guys. I see some new faces in here as well, man. Appreciate all you guys being here. Hit that sub button if you haven't already. Hit that like button if you haven't already. And before I get too far into this, let me just go ahead and shout out BetUS, by the way, for sponsoring this, because BetUS is partnering with us for the entire football season this year. They're currently offering 125% sign-up bonus on $2,000 on your first 3 deposits, not just 1, but up to 3. They have the fastest and easiest withdrawal process to get your winnings back. If you lose, it's not a big deal. They got a 10% back on your net losses. You can do that up to twice per year. So for real, it's an easy decision. Don't be a slapnut. Don't miss out on these offers. Check it out. It's going to be in the description. You're going to find the link there. You're going to find it in the pinned comment. Okay. If you're watching after the fact, it's still going to be there. So yeah, go do that. Sign up to BetUS. Let them know All Chiefed Up sent you and get in on it, man. We got some good stuff coming out. Jaden Hicks plus 6,000 to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Look, it's a long shot. It is a long shot at plus 6,000, but that's where the money's to be made. Okay. That's where the money's to be made. Last time I checked, Xavier Worthy over under on touchdowns was 4.5. That seems like you smash the over all day long. 4.5. He's getting that by week 8. Okay. He's a beast. Mahomes is going to find him deep this year. So there you go. Hit the pinned comment, hit the description, sign up for BetUS. Let them know All Chiefed Up sent you their way. Let me get back over here and see if I can find any more beautiful Chiefs news. The last thing we talked about was Chris Roland Wallace looks to have made the team. And then also our boy, Crocky J, looks to have made the roster. What is Brett Veach cooking up right now, ladies and gents? I know he's in the kitchen. He's cooking something up. He's cooking it up. Congrats, by the way, to Carson Steele. Can we read? Let's read this. This is beautiful here. His mother sends out a tweet. By the way, shout out Angela, a follower of All Chiefed Up, a supporter. Appreciate you. She says, congratulations, Carson, on making your dreams come true. Your family loves you so much, and we're beyond proud of you. You've worked your whole life for this moment right here. Enjoy every second of your NFL career. You've earned it. All the glory to God. Carson Steele, look, is a freaking treasure, okay? He's a treasure. He's got a good family. He's got a good work ethic. He's exactly what you want on the team. He's going to continue the championship tradition. Congrats, Carson Steele from All Chiefed Up. Congrats to the Steele family. You guys are awesome. Congrats to everybody else that's made the team so far, by the way. People forget that these are real people with real emotions, and I know sometimes we all talk about them like they're not, like they're fictional characters, but they're not. They're all real people, and yes, they will from time to time watch shows. They will come in and comment. Their families will comment. They'll talk to us. We just had Spivey, our boy Spivey, GQ. His pops was in the house here a few days ago, hoping that GQ made the team, and they cut Spivey last night. And look, good family, good dude. I hope Spivey gets an offer to be on the practice squad. Like, I really do. Don't want to see any, I want to see all the success in the world for these kids. But yeah, it's one of those things where we kind of forget that they are all human. There's a lot of heartbreak going on today, man. The Chiefs had to cut a lot of people. Okay, that's a lot of dreams and NFL careers that they feel like getting dashed a little bit. And that's what I say. Don't take it so personal if you can't make this team. This is the deepest team the Chiefs have had since Patrick Mahomes has been here. The deepest team the Chiefs may have had in the history of football. In the history of our franchise, this could be one of the deepest teams that we're ever going to roll with, front to back. So Patrick Mahomes has got some weapons this year. Our defense looks to be solid. I don't know if we're going to be as good as we were last year. If we are, it's going to have to take time to develop and gel. But yeah, don't be too down on yourself if you don't make this team. You put a lot of good stuff out there, and somebody will pick you up, or better yet, you'll still be on the practice squad. You'll get called upon. Let's get to the starred chatters here, baby. Richie King, been a member for 6 months. He says, we are on the math. 9 O-line and 5 linebackers, or what do you think? Where are we at on the math? Okay, sorry, couldn't read. I was getting a little wild there. I was blue chewed out on you. Okay, I couldn't read it. The math. I still think they're taking 10 linemen. I think you take 10 offensive linemen. Now that you cut Irv Smith, I think there's no reason to not take 10. Now, I would say they could take 9, and then that does allow you maybe to take your extra defensive guy. Maybe that allows Haddon to stay on, or maybe it allows Deion Bush to stay on. Maybe you get your 6th linebacker on. Look, the Chiefs took 6 linebackers last year. Richie, I know you know that. I mean, you're a hardcore Chief fan. You know what they took last year. They took 6, and we've got them taking 6 this time. Now, here's the deal. We had Cole Christensen getting on that list, and the only reason is because Cole Christensen, he balled out in the preseason. Okay, we just thought he earned it. That's very interchangeable with Curtis Jacobs, who, by the way, had another good preseason. Cole Jacobs is a beast out of Penn State. We thought Swayze Bozeman had an outside shot, but look, Swayze's now probably going to be in the practice squad. I still believe Christensen, who is a practice squad regular, so to say, he still could go there. Or he could make the roster. Maybe Cam Jones slides off the roster this year, but look, they use Cam Jones a lot on special teams. So I would be surprised if Cam Jones is relegated off this 53-man, considering he made it last year. So yeah, it's between Cole Christensen and Curtis Jacobs. And honestly, I have no opinion, no dog in the fight. I think they're both good football players. I just think Cole Christensen has a little bit more experience, and that's why we went with him. But yeah, that's the extent of that one. Let's get to another one. Appreciate you being a member, Richie. You're the man. I got a $10 super sticker from Jan Fry Gable. Jan is awesome. Jan has been a supporter since day one. Jan is the real one. She's awesome with the 10 bomb. Throw her out some love. Throw her out some nukes in the chat. Give her a little ACU crew happiness. Give her a little ketchup. That's what we love. Grits Fits with the 5 bomb. Appreciate you, Grits. Appreciate you, brother. New face. I haven't seen Grits, but I appreciate it. I appreciate the 5 bomb. Hope you become a member. Hope you become a subscriber, and I hope you get in here and talk football with the ACU crew, man. We've got one of the best crews in football. A lot of people aren't over here a lot because they want to be on the bigger channels where they get their comments seen, and you got more people to talk to and argue with. But this is a very good group of football knowledgeable Chiefs fans in this chat, and it would service you well to get over here and talk football with them because they know what they're talking about. Red says Sky won't get playing time. Our wide receiver room is stacked. I've heard this comment a few times, but I'm telling you, it's going to surprise you a lot. Sky's going to get more snaps than people think. Connor Embry said it. He's a guy that is in the right spot. He's a guy that can line up everywhere. He's a guy that knows the playbook inside and out. He's a guy that Patrick Mahomes trusts. A lot of people say Patrick Mahomes don't trust him. Out of the coaches' mouths, they say the quarterbacks like Sky more because he stays after practice. He does the work. They get along. He knows the playbook. I mean, I'm going to take the word of the coaches. And again, nobody knows for sure, but I'm going to take the word of the coaches more than just the disgruntled fans that don't like Sky Moore. But yeah, could he lose time? Absolutely. Again, I don't think Sky Moore's ever going to develop here in anything great. And this is going to be another one. This is his make or break year. 1,000%. This is Sky Moore's make or break year. There's no more excuses for Sky Moore. He can't have the 1 catch for 6 yards. He can't have the 2 catches for 14 yards and then disappear for 2 or 3 weeks and finish the season with 22 catches for 312 yards and a touchdown. You can't do it. You've got to be, look, he's got to get to 40, 50 catches this year. He's got to get to 500 or 600 yards. He's got to get to at least 4 to 5 touchdowns. That is progression. That will buy him one more year. But will he get that? I don't see how he can. It's too stacked, and that's what I was saying. Bringing in people like Juju, yes, that does lower the floor, but it also caps on certain growth, which again, a lot of people don't care that it caps Sky's growth. A lot of people don't think there's any more to grow. Everybody's got a valid opinion. Honestly, I don't think in this offense Sky can grow anymore. I don't think he's used properly. I don't think he's ever been used 100% properly, and I don't think they plan on using him anywhere properly, so it doesn't matter. Like, Sky's not a guy that is going to line up on the outside and win repeatedly. He's not going to blow by you with speed. Now, he can make you miss in tight spaces, but he ain't going to beat you. He's not going to beat you deep a lot. He's not going to, he can get open, but it's not something that Mahomes does a lot. Like, Mahomes is he knows where he's going with the ball. And a lot of Sky's routes are designed to be run further down the field. So a lot of the times you'll see maybe even Sky Moore be open. But he gets open too late because of how long his route is. So Mahomes has already got it underneath or something. So he doesn't get a lot. I think he has to find a team that will put him in the slot exclusively and pepper him like Tom Brady did with Julian Edelman. Like they used to do, kind of like the way Hunter Renfrow was used in, I almost said Oakland, in Vegas. I will never stop calling the Raiders Oakland. Like, if they don't move them back to Oakland, what a monstrosity. Okay. But yeah, I don't think he's going to develop, and I don't expect much out of Sky Moore again this year. I really don't. And again, people say, hey, you guys are Sky Moore truthers. No. I mean, I was just telling you, he was not going anywhere. He was going to be on this roster, and then, lo and behold, here he comes. That doesn't make me a homer. I don't think he's used right. That don't make me a homer. I think there's more there. I just don't know if the Chiefs can get it out of him. I don't. In this offense, I don't think they can get it out of him. And it's not a knock to Sky, and it's not a knock to Andy. There was a disconnect in what they seen on film and what they thought could happen in the Andy Reid offense. There was a disconnect. It was a genuine disconnect. I thought Brett Veach honestly thought that Sky Moore could do what he thought. Fans wanted him to do it, and then when he could not exactly pull it off, it's been his downfall. And then the Dave Tobe pressuring him to do punt returns has caused everybody to think he can't catch the ball, and the dude's got 2 drops in 2 years. He's got a lot of muffs on punts, in year one, but he never done that before. So, yeah, enough with Sky Moore. Like he's a non-factor. Sky Moore's got to prove him a factor. He's just a non-factor, man. Worldverse says the Chiefs haven't made a move in 15 minutes. They're cooking something. Brett Veach is always cooking. Look, he's just always cooking, baby. That's what he does. He's just in the kitchen. He's got the pan out. He's got the, what's he cooking with? Olive oil today, maybe. I don't know. The Seahawks have released Dwayne Eskridge. That's kind of ominous in a way. Kind of ominous. Do you know Dwayne Eskridge and Sky Moore are big workout partners in the offseason? So that's ominous. We'll see. Dave Tobe probably pretty excited. It looks like the Colts are releasing Chris Lamons. Oh, Chris Lamons. The Chiefs like to pick him up and put him out there. Wouldn't be surprised to see that move made. The Chiefs are creatures of habit. Just the way it is. They're just creatures of habit. So they get sometimes, they'll get these players that have been in the system a few times. They want that's the thing. When we were picking this 53-man, it became the Chiefs want familiarity more than anything. I think that they kind of give up on a lot of pipe dreams. They give up on a lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda. They give up on a lot of unreached talent. I think they're going for 3 in a row, and you prove that you deserve to be there or not. They're not going to do anything else. I just think that's the way it is. I think that's just what they decided. I think that is what the Juju signing showed me the other day. Lonnie, what's up, man? He says, yo, my guy Mike, hope all's well as always. It is doing, it's going today, Lonnie. It's going, baby. The Chiefs are making cuts. We're just digging through. We're trying to get something going. The Chiefs have now effectively fell asleep. They have 1 hour and 3 minutes to make this official. I'm not for sure how many more moves they have to make, but from what I can tell, they have to make somewhere around probably 10 to 12 that are like ones that we don't kind of know are coming. So, yeah, appreciate you. Appreciate you stopping by. DB Tech says CEH gone, ? I don't think so. I think they're going to keep him. They can't really cut him. If they cut him, you don't have anybody. Like you would only have 2. You only have Pacheco and Carson Steele. There's no way. I just don't think they were ever going to cut CEH. There wasn't cutting him over his PTSD. They're not cutting him over anything he can't control. I think they like him. They like him in the locker room. He knows the playbook. I think Andy finds him reliable. A lot of Chief fans don't. A lot of Chief fans just think he's reliable for 1 yard and falling down. He's had a lot of good plays and a lot of big plays. In his first year, he looked fine. He had to deal with that injury. Last year, I felt like he was a little healthier. I feel like he actually progressed off that injury last year, and he showed signs of being better. I think he's going to be using a 3rd down McKinnon row. A lot of people asking if McKinnon could possibly get a call. I think the lines there are always open. It just really it really depends on what Brett Veach and them want to do. I think McKinnon would come back. I 100% think McKinnon would come back. But I feel like they're just kind of wanting to move on, and at the same time, they're wanting to move on, but they're wanting to move on with familiarity. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but I think that's what they're wanting to do. So, yeah. Ishi says an unathletic short wide receiver, George Pickens, isn't hindsight. It's called common sense. Yeah, you'd think that. You would. But again, they know that those big wide receivers do not translate well to Andy Reid's offense. What would George Pickens have done here? Maybe nothing. We could have killed George Pickens' career. As good as he is with Pittsburgh, they use him. They will throw up 50-50 balls, and they will let him go do it. If that doesn't happen, if he goes to an offense like the Chiefs and he gets stifled and doesn't get that, people are calling George Pickens a bust right now. And let's just say Sky Moore goes to Brady comes back to the Bucs and he goes there and he works the slot, that season and he's got 65 catches and 10 touchdowns at the end of the year. Then people saying, oh my God, why didn't we take Sky Moore? It's all about where these guys get drafted. People get way too caught up on this. It's the Madden generation that you can just draft anybody on Madden and you can make a 45 a Pro Bowler. It doesn't happen that way. Like, the NFL's hard, and it's a lot about positioning and where you're at. And I think people have to come to that realization. A lot of times it's where you're drafted determines your outcome. It really is. And again, Andy Reid's system is not conducive to big wide receivers, because we also traded up for Mecole Hardman and we passed DK Metcalf, and nobody thought that was weird. Like, nobody's like, nobody calls Mecole Hardman a bust to this day. They drafted him over. I mean, come on. They could have had Scary Terry. There was plenty of wide receivers in that draft, and we traded up for Mecole Hardman. Like, we traded back to get Sky Moore, so you actually got Sky Moore and a pick. I don't know what that translated into, but I don't know. I don't think it was a great pick, let's be honest, but that's what they wanted. It just didn't work. So, I don't know. Gunn said, I agree, Mike Veach. Oh, I thought he called me Mike Veach. I thought that was a very nice compliment. I was like, thank you, sir. But he says, I agree, Mike. Veach is not going to do any experiments this year. He wants consistency for a three-peat. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think they just want to put the best product they can on the field. And honestly, I bet after next year they don't probably re-sign Hollywood, so he probably walks. Rasheed is now getting into his trouble. Mecole Hardman's on him 1 year. Sky Moore probably goes ahead and gets the axe. They probably have Xavier Worthy. So after next year, it's going to be Xavier Worthy and Rasheed Rice. That's going to be it. Rasheed Rice is going to be on a suspension more than likely. So I think they try to keep Nico. I really do. I think they try to keep Nico on the practice squad. This is another reason I would almost prefer them to just drop Mecole Hardman. I think Mecole Hardman is not wanted by anybody else. He would definitely clear waivers and get back. Nico, there's a chance he could leave Kansas City. If he don't think he's ever going to get a shot here, there's a chance. So, yeah, I would almost maybe want to cut Mecole Hardman. You can instantly sign him back to the practice squad. I don't even think he has to clear waivers because he's played in the league longer than 4 years. So he could actually just come back, and then they can rotate him back in week to week. Use them however they see fit, but Nico could honestly be gone. And then next year, if you could keep Nico has a shot to actually make and contribute next year. So if he can hold out for just one more season, Nico in his third year could be a beast in this offense. So I think they really need to find a way to get Nico. And again, is this just me talking too much and overthinking this, or have I stumbled upon something, some magical thing where I think Nico next year is his breakout year, not this year? They've got to find a way to keep Nico. You can't afford to put him on the practice squad somehow. So, if I were, this is why I don't want to be Brett Veach, because I would sit here and think myself to death like that, and then I would probably cut Mecole Hardman, and then a lot of people would be like, "You idiot." But I don't know. I would think a little bit like, and I'm sure Brett Veach is doing it. This is why it's so hard. It's hard to attack these dudes, man. It's hard to win, and they've been able to win 3 now in just a few years, and back to back, they're going for 3 in a row. It's hard to say their judgment's not right. It really is, and it's easy when you're on this side of it to always be critical. But just trying to think outside the box. That's one thing that I'll say. Me and Steve will try to do that a lot, and people don't love it. We try to think outside the box just a little bit. Like, we'll try to get in the heads of, like, if we were Chiefs GMs, if we were in a room with Brett Veach, and I think this goes sometimes to why we draft. Like, you'll notice that we do a pretty decent job at picking draft picks for the Chiefs, but a lot of times it comes off wrong. Like I said, in the case of like Sky Moore and things like that, like we're coming at it from a Chiefs standpoint, and a lot of the fan base is just opposite. And so in the comments and everything else, we get told we don't know ball. If you think Sky Moore's good, why do you guys have a channel? This is why I don't watch you. Just dumb stuff. I mean, come on. Like, I'm not fighting any battles for Sky Moore. Believe me. Like, I'm just telling you, I think there's more, and I think this is why the Chiefs will keep him. That's not me just loving him. I'm just trying to tell you, like, I'm trying to give you the best to my ability what the Chiefs will do. And you might not like that, but that's what I'm trying to give. That's why I started this, and why we started this is try to give our insight into our football knowledge and Chiefs knowledge into what we think the Chiefs will do, and translate that to you guys. Not always telling you what you want to hear, not always taking the popular side. It's not about that. Like, there's a lot of places out there that do it. There's a lot of YouTube channels that do it. There's a lot of people on X that'll do it. That works for them. Cool. And again, I don't know why we do it, because, you know, when Sky Moore does make this roster, not a single person's going to come back over here and be like, guys, appreciate you guys holding your own there with Sky Moore. Like you were trying to tell us the whole time that the Chiefs were going to take him. We just wouldn't listen to you. That's not going to happen. We're going to get people double down again telling us we're stupid, and then that we don't know ball, and then, you know, all that good stuff. So I don't know why we do certain things. It's weird. Sometimes you just got to stick to your, what's it called? Got to have some, what is that called? I don't even know the daggone word right now. It's too early in the day. Some integrity. That's what it is. We got Daniel in here with a $3 super sticker. Appreciate you, Daniel. Appreciate you, brother. We got Phil McAmus in here with a 2 bomb. He said, thanks for doing this, Mike. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Phil. You're the man. And we got Chiefs KT back with another 2. He says, Chiefs eventually have to give a wide receiver big money, right? You would think so, but here's what I think. I think Brett Veach is trying to wait out the wide receiver bubble. I feel like this could be, you know, I feel like CeeDee Lamb's holding out so hard. And then you've got Justin Jefferson just signed for big money. And you've got all these guys. You've even got Jamar Chase holding out. This dude's got 2 years on his contract, but yeah, he's pulling some kind of a weird stunt now. 2 years. Because I believe everybody knows that the Chiefs have started to flip the script on the wide receiver. And they're starting to see that this wide receiver thing is edging up, and it's about to bust. And I believe that they all think if they don't get it right now, maybe next year you can get it again. But within 2 to 3 years, it's going to bust. I firmly believe that. And I believe Brett Veach sees that, and I believe he kind of is setting the market for it. He may never have to. He may actually change the game to benefit how he does things. He may never have to pay a big wide receiver big money. You're always going to have guys like Hollywood that just didn't get enough respect in the offseason, and they're going to come in and be like, hey, if you're winning championships and you got Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and Chris Jones and Travis Kelce, I'll come play here for 1 year and prove myself and win a ring. You know, you're always going to have that. And honestly, I would prefer to have those guys too than the guys that just want to go out there and make the most money they can. Like, I don't want somebody like a Jamar Chase that all he's worried about is setting the market for 12 minutes until the next wide receiver comes along, just so he can tell everybody he was the highest paid wide receiver for 5 minutes. Who cares? At the end of your career, nobody looks back. We don't look back on Jerry Rice's career and say he was one of the greatest to ever play, or Tom Brady and say he was one of the greatest to ever play. We don't look back on their contract and be like, he was one of the greatest to ever play, man. He held the highest contract for 48 minutes until the other guy came along, until Tim Brown signed his contract. That's stupid. It's ignorant. It's playing for yourself. It's playing for the name on the back of your jersey, not the logo on the front of it. And I don't want it. I'll take the Hollywood Browns all day long that have something to prove. I'll take the Jujus all day long that'll still continue to come here and prove something. I'll take them all day over the money makers, because those are the divas. Those are the ones that's going to cry if they're not getting the ball thrown to them 56 times a game. And they're also the guys that are going to lead your championship run, and they're going to lead your dynasty right into the dirt. That's what's going to do. And I'm proud of Brett Veach for holding and sticking to his guns, to be honest. Appreciate the 2 bomb, Chief KT. You're the man. Okay, let's see. Let me run back over here, baby. And let's see if we got any more news. I need Kelsey on here. Did y'all hear about the Kelce's signing like $100 million something for a podcast? Must be nice. The rich get richer, baby. Somebody sign up all Chief up for $100 million. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, I'll take 1% of that contract. I'll take 1/100th of a percent. What would that be? It's like 10 grand? I don't know. I'll take 100,000. Come on, let's go. But yeah, congrats to Kelsey and them doing big things. With the new news, we need some new news. What do we got? Okay, well, I don't know if this is new news, but Neil Farrell tweets out God's plan with a praying emoji. Oh, that could be taken either way. I don't know. Neil Farrell is definitely on the roster bubble. Let's put it that way. Farrell's definitely right there on the bubble. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, by the way, Chris Rowland Wallace, he's on the team. Again, we're talking about needing people that play the boundary. Okay. Why? Because McDuffie is not always going to play the boundary. He's going to try to slide in and play probably 20-30% of his snaps in the slot, at the nickel. You've also got Nick Jones, but Chris Roland Wallace, by the way, in the preseason played 73% of his snaps from the slot. So now you've got another guy there. Again, that's not an outside guy. I think we need some outside guys. Like if that's your thing, then we need outside guys. And you've got three. You've got Nazi, you've got, Jalen Watson, you got Josh Williams. I honestly think I would take Kamal Haddon and let him try to be an outside guy. He's got such a good physical frame to be able to do that. Wow, I don't know. The Chris Roland Wallace one is odd to me. It's odd only because of, he's more of a nickel guy, and I don't know. I just don't think we need that. Does that mean he beat out maybe Nick Jones? We've not heard about Nick Jones yet. Here I am just talking to myself, just trying to hash it out, just trying to cope. Just trying to cope with life right now, okay? That's all I'm trying to do is cope. Trying to see what's up. No new news. So we are now officially 49 minutes away from having to get this finished. 49 minutes away from having to have this bad boy finished. I mean, we're going to find out. It's going to be a wild one. I really do. I think something, I don't think it would be just a day. Okay. I don't think it would be a Brett Veach day if something crazy doesn't happen here in the next 50 minutes to an hour. And Brett Veach will probably now look, this is roster manipulation. Let me explain to you guys what this roster manipulation is. Let me gear up for this. Today and yesterday was a day that NFL teams manipulate their rosters. And what they want to do is they want to take the bottom 20% of their roster and they want to get it better. Okay? So we go take our 7th round pick that's meaningless because it's going to be one of the final 6 picks in the draft. Who cares? And they're going to go get a pass rusher that they liked in the draft and a guy that can now prevent George Karlaftis and Mike Dana from playing 80% of the snaps. So that's a meaningless pick, and they're going to put a guy on the roster, and they needed the help. Okay. But they got a little better. They got the low end better. Is he better than Truman Jones? Yes. Is he better than Malik Herring? Probably. Okay. So they got a little better. Okay. Some of these guys you're seeing are making trades like this because they don't want these guys to they don't want them to hit the waiver wire. I think you just seen the Packers trade for Malik Willis. They give up like a 7th round pick for Malik Willis. Can you believe they took Malik Willis? What was it, the 1st or 2nd round? And then he's gone in a year for a 7th round pick. Insane. But this is what they're doing. So they might not want them to hit the wire. So they're doing this. Then they'll put out a rumor. Okay. So for example, they could put out a rumor. Hey, Justin Ross is getting cut. And then they release it a little early, right? Because it don't have to be till 4. Why are you strategically throwing these names out? They're trying to see if these teams will bite on it. Maybe you've got somebody over here. Maybe you got an NFC team. Maybe you've got, like, say, the Giants. And they're like, dude, we could use Justin Ross. We could use Chris Oladokun. I don't know. Maybe we don't like Tommy DeVito. Just an example. But then they can call and they can give you a little something. You get a little something out of it. It's roster manipulation. There's a reason Brett Veach sits on this for 45 minutes. There are certain players here that he felt that he wanted to get out early to try to get some kind of bait. So he was baiting Kadarius Toney. He was just straight up baiting. That's what he was doing. I don't even know about it.
Go away, baiting. Damn it.
He's just out here baiting. That's all there is to it. And he was hoping somebody was going to just pick up on it. They could behind the scenes. They could be going. We haven't heard nothing, but maybe behind the scenes they're getting something together. Uh-oh. And what have I told you? They're baiting and they're doing stuff. And you heard it here. Breaking news. The Chiefs, the Cowboys are finalizing a trade, sending Peyton Hendershot to the Chiefs for a late round conditional pick per source. Looks like it's going to be probably like a 6th round pick, maybe a conditional. So the Chiefs cut Irv Smith and they're going to bring in Peyton Hendershot and put him on the 53, it looks like, ladies and gents. Peyton Hendershot, by the way, can flat out ball. Like, he was pretty good coming out of college. If I'm not mistaken, he played at, what was it, Indiana, I think is where he played. Pretty sure he played at Indiana. I have to get this right. Now, look, we're a rival of Indiana, so I should have known this. Yes, okay, so he played at Indiana. Okay, the thing about it is, when he come out of school, he's 6'4", 254, by the way. When he come out of school back in 2021, he had a PFF grade of an overall grade of an 84. This kid could flat out play, okay? He played in line. He played almost 200 snaps in line, which means he can block. He played 115 snaps from the slot. He had 62 targets. He caught 46 balls for 543 yards. And to put it on, 4 touchdowns. He had 4 touchdowns in 2019, 2020, and 2021. So he is a pass-catching tight end. He is a guy the Chiefs would like, okay? The drop rate wasn't the greatest. It was like a 2%, which is pretty good. But, I mean, when you're getting, when you get 20 targets and you drop 2 to 3 balls, or a 20% drop rate, that's pretty high. But I think he's over that. His receiving grade was a 90, almost a 91. Go back, give yourself a little homework. If you want to see Peyton Hendershot and what he can do, go back and find his 2021 film. And let me think. Because I studied this cat, dude, and he was up there for me because of this one game. I want to say it was 2021, and I want to say it was against Maryland. He was playing at Maryland. I'm almost positive. And I want to say it was like week 8, 9. Somewhere right at the very end of the season. Week 8 or week 9. Go back and watch him versus Maryland. He had a good game, and I'm pretty sure he scored really, really high on PFF grades and everything for that game. So, Chiefs making moves, ladies and gents. They're making some moves. Peyton Hendershot coming to the Chiefs is what it looks like. So far, the Chiefs go with 2 NFC teams. 2 trades, 2 days, 2 NFC teams. Cowboys, Cardinals, which you got all the C's going. The C's, the Cowboys and the Cardinals and the Chiefs, and everybody's just out here trading, okay? The Chiefs are getting better. Look, this makes it 1% better, just 1% better on our final 10% of our roster. This is why they cut Deneric Prince. You've seen it. Because why? Yet again, I said they were taking 2, Pacheco and Allaire, and they're going to take Carson because he can handle the halfback duties. He's not just a fullback. So that gives you 3. The Chiefs only need 3 halfbacks. Now, look, they could still go do it. But, yeah. Now, look, what this tells me is now C.J. Hansen may be on the cutting block, ladies and gents. C.J. Hansen could be on the cutting block because now you've essentially going to take the 4th tight end. And again, we said 3. I'm not out here I'm not predicting who's cutting what and who's doing what. So I'm not even going to say, hey, I knew this was coming. I didn't know crap about the Chiefs trying to trade for Peyton Hendershot. Now, I will say the Cowboys baited it out this morning yet again. Snap, snap. They baited out that they were going to cut Hendershot. And then guess what? The Chiefs took the bait. The big bass hunter himself, Big Bass Beach, out there just chomping on a worm, and he makes it happen for a conditional pick. So, look, the Chiefs have pulled in now a defensive end. They pulled in a tight end. They're probably both going to – they're 100% getting the 53. It looks like C.J. Hansen might now be relegated to the practice squad. That looks like that might be the impending move off of this, unless the Chiefs decide they want to just take 6 wide receivers. Again, it's very possible the Chiefs could just go back and take that 6 wide receiver. It's crazy, but it is possible. It is possible that's what the Chiefs could do. So we'll see. We'll see. But, yeah, let's get back and see if we can find anything else. Some breaking news. Peyton Hendershot coming to the Chiefs, ladies and gents. Look, I know there's going to be some flat-out horned up people over that one. If I'm not mistaken, our boy Daniel Harms was flat-out horned over. He had erection on 26 out of a scale from 1 to 10 for Peyton Hendershot. This dude is probably passed out with the blood going to the root. This guy's he's passed out somewhere in his computer chair. We need to send a safety checkup on our boy. Somebody safety check him. Okay, make sure he's good. He's got people to take care of. He can't be passing out like that. Can I throw up something for you here? We got a little bit of this. We got Peyton Hendershot. We got that RAS score. You know how like we like to throw up them RASs out here, baby. I see somebody down here tagging. How about those Chiefs? If you guys wonder how Cole gets so much stuff, he's got about 47 millions working for him, and they'll just tag him and everything. Okay? That's how he knows everything, because he's got everybody working for him. This dude's got about 76 people on the payroll and all of Twitter. But here we go. Let's get to RAS. Peyton Hendershot with an 8.39 RAS, which is pretty good for a tight end. It's his size that got him. So at 6'3", 246, but he's closer to 6'4". He's receiving tight end. He's closer to your Noah Gray, somebody like that. Okay, his vert wasn't great. His broad wasn't great. That shows your explosiveness. Of course, a 4.8 40 and a 2.73 20. Not horrible, but look, a tight end, you want to look at the 10-yard split. So 1.62, that's really good. That's in the great metric. And then his shuttle and 3-cone, which means in tight spaces, he is quick. Against linebackers, he's going to cut you into oblivion. He's going to beat you. He's going to run these little whips, these little crossing patterns, these little meshes, and he's going to be a mismatch nightmare. Peyton Hendershot could take some serviceable snaps for the Chiefs this season. 100%, he could do that. So just throwing that out there for you guys. Peyton Hendershot, giving you the low on Peyton Hendershot, baby. And here it comes. Here it comes. I'm getting attacked by a wasp or something in my room. I don't know what it is, but it didn't want to hear this news. But here it is, ladies and gents. Nico Remigio is being released by the Chiefs, says Jason Anderson. Nico is gone. Breaking news, Nico Remigio is out. This was reported just 4 minutes ago. Nico Remigio is out. So while we were discussing Peyton Hendershot, he's out. Nico is done. Man, I'm telling you, I don't love the move. I don't love getting rid of Nico, but I'm telling you, they're taking Mecole Hardman. Brett Veach would rather chop off his pinky finger than give up on Mecole Hardman, it seems. And again, I guess they think Nico is going to be able to slide through and get on their practice squad. He's going to stick it out. But I'm telling you, next year, Nico could be a player, man. He really could, because we're not going to have too many people. You're going to have Rice on suspension. You're going to have Xavier Worthy. Hollywood Brown probably walks. He probably gets a bigger contract. Juju's on a 1 year. McColl's on a 1 year. Sky Moore's in his final year, and he's probably done. That's every receiver on our roster but 2. So Nico could possibly have been that guy. He could have been the next in line, and instead they would rather go. And it's fine if you want to go with Sky Moore. And again, people are going to hate that. But if it's fine if you don't want to give up on a guy after 2 years and you want to give him 1 more year. But for me, it's the Mecole Hardman thing. Like, you know what you got with Mecole Hardman. Yes, he's serviceable. But I would almost have rather seen what Nico could do in crunch time. I would have loved to see his upside and see what he could do. And I'm so afraid he's gonna get claimed off that practice squad. I'm so afraid of it. I thought last year he was going to get it. I thought a team like the Saints or somebody was going to claim him last season, and he squeezed by because he got that injury. But he's healthy this year, guys, so I don't know. He's healthy, so I do not know. It sucks. Again, I don't want to see any of these guys go. But Nico Remigio hits a little bit. It's saying Nico and Mecole over and over again. Say that 5 times fast. I can't do it. I don't know. But yeah, I would have much probably have rathered Nico. But again, I'm not making the calls, and I'm glad I'm not. So what have we learned today? What have we learned so far today? LRZ's out. Nico's now out. KT's out. I mean, Justin Ross is out. Just some big names. Some big names. And we knew this was going to happen. We knew it was going to happen. We knew this was going to be a brutal day. This was a bloody, bloody Tuesday. Okay. It's wild. What we're not seeing is we're not seeing a lot of defense. You're not seeing these tackles. Jones, Noddy, Wharton, Pinnell. I think Noddy could very well be on that bubble. 100%. Like, they did sign him back to a 1 year, and I'm telling you, Brett wants familiarity, and he wants just the same old. So that's why we put Derek Noddy on there. And I'm telling you, that's why we do this a lot, because we're trying to get to the head of Veach, and this is what he likes to do. So it wouldn't surprise me. Now, could they go ahead and take a fifth? Could they take a Farrell? I'm sorry. Could they take Farrell? Could they take a Matt Dickerson? Absolutely. But yeah, that's the four we think. And then when it comes to the DEs, it's Karlaftis, Dana, FAU, and we had Herring and Jones. So now you're gonna add the big boy from the Cardinals on there. So somebody probably still gets cut, either Herring or Jones, unless they go ahead and take 6. They could go ahead and take 6 because, again, he slides down in those NASCAR packages. We know Mike Dana can do that. We know Malik Herring can do that. I'm pretty sure Truman Jones, we know George can do it. So you do got some versatility there upon the defensive line. So they're kind of interchangeable. So they could go 6 and 4, or they could go ahead and take Dickerson or Farrell, and then drop off a Truman Jones or a Malik Herring. And then, of course, the linebacker, we've not heard a lot from them. Cam Jones, Cole Christensen, that's the 2. The top 4 are locks: Bolton, Tranquil, Chanel, and Cochran. I think those are 100% locks. So, yeah, Cam Jones and Cole Christensen, and those are interchangeable with Curtis Jacobs. I believe Curtis Jacobs has got a shot. Swayze Bozeman has been cut. That sucks, but it is what it is. And then, of course, our safeties, we have Reed, Cook, Hicks, and Bush. Now, we put Connor on the DB, but they took Chris Roland Wallace. So it looks like the only player that all chiefed up has missed to this point is Chris Roland Wallace. He is the only player that we did not project on this 53-man roster. This has been the hardest, by the way, the hardest 53-man roster to project in years. And we're not the only ones to say that. This is being said by lots of people, lots of talking heads, lots of beat writers. They're all saying that, dude, this is crazy. This is one of the hardest rosters to predict and project. And the fact that we're sitting here 33 minutes out and we've only strategically missed one person is insane. Chris Roland Wallace, that's it. And honestly, he was right there. Like, he was right there. Like, we thought about putting him over Deion Bush. So we were right there. That's insane. Yeah, it's nuts, dude. Let me get back in here and see what we got. Pete Sweeney he's telling us what we already know. Chiefs traded for the 4th tight end, Peyton Hendershot. They are going to go ahead and stick with the 4 tight ends. Obviously, you want to trade it for him. He has to make the team. They're not cutting Noah Gray. They're not cutting Jared Wiley to put on Peyton Hendershot. So, yes, you do have the 4th tight end. Again, they did cut Irv Smith. I seen that coming. I didn't see a trade for a tight end coming. I don't think they did either. I don't think yesterday they woke up and they were like, we'll cut Irv Smith tomorrow, and if that guy named Peyton Hendershot gets cut, or, we may trade for him. I don't think that happened. I think that's just a spur-of-the-moment kind of thing. And so it's hard to predict. But, yeah, the Chiefs, 2 moves in 2 days. I don't think anybody's seen 2. Did anybody see 2 trades coming in 2 days? Huh. I don't know. I tell you, though, Peyton Hendershot's not a bad one. It's not a bad one. I don't know which one I like better, Peyton Hendershot or the Cam Thomas. I think Peyton Hendershot, you're probably a little more excited for Hendershot. Noah Gray might spell Noah Gray's replacement. Because Noah Gray, this is his contract year. This might be the last year we get of Noah. I don't know. We'll see. The dude can block, though. He's a tough run blocker. He's got a lot of athleticism. He's a good pass catcher. Again, he does drop a little bit. I'm telling you, I don't know if anybody's going to have the balls to tell everybody, but I will. He will drop a ball here and there, but he can play special teams. He plays special teams. He's pretty athletic. again, go back and watch this game. Indiana versus Maryland. I want to say week 8. And I want to say 2021 or 2022. I'm not for sure. You'll find it. But yeah, that's a little homework for you, ladies and gents. Let's see what we got. Let's get back to the comments for just a second. See what you guys are up to out here. Brett Veach is cooking. He's cooking, baby. Yep, Travis. He has made the roster. That's a long way away. So I still got to catch up. Good Lord, that was like a 30-minute ago comment. But we're okay, baby. Crispy says Hardman. It looks like Hardman's going to make it. Looks like he's going to slide on. Looks like he is. The memes and box says I'd like to see them sign a corner. That's a possibility. I think Caleb Farley just got cut by the Titans today. That's a guy maybe they could look at. I would think Caleb Farley would probably want to go to a team where he could play right away. So he may not consider this, but I don't know if they pick up a guy like Caleb Farley and throw him right on the 53. So not too sure about that one. Grant says, do you know how much more players? How many more players do we have to get cut from here? I can't tell you off the top of my head. We probably got to cut about 10 to 13, somewhere in that range. Anywhere between 10 and 15 players. I'll say 12 to 13 is probably about the right number that we got to cut. And again, there's some guys that just, they're obvious that hasn't been done yet. Like the DJ Miller, he's pretty obvious, I think. Yeah. Midnight says, more at kick return this year. Look good in preseason. He'll get an opportunity. He'll get an opportunity to do it. He's better at kick return than he is punt return. Again, he never did punt returns in college. So that is so different. The ball rotates off punter's feet kind of weirdly. The ball goes up really high. The ball gets lost in the lights. You got to sneak a look at gunners. You're afraid to get hit. There's a lot of things going to punting, so that's why he was rough with it. But yeah, he'll get a chance to do kickoffs. He'll get a chance to do the kickoffs. 7-second charter says Carson Steele. Heck yeah, Carson Steele's going to be on the roster, baby. He's going to be leading us. That's good, though, because his running style, he's a little more like he's going to knock you out. But Pacheco don't care to initiate contact as well. Carson Steele actually seems to be a little more patient at running and finding the holes than Pacheco. I'm hoping Pacheco in year 3 starts getting to that a little bit more. Stops kind of running into the blockers a little too quick. There's little things he can help himself do. But yeah, I think they're a good 1-2 punch. And again, Clyde's going to be almost like that McKinnon role. I don't think you're going to see Clyde take a lot of carries. I bet at the end of the year, Clyde will have I'll say Clyde has less than 40 carries easily this year. I would say it's probably somewhere around the 30 to 35 mark for Clyde on carries. So I don't think he's going to get actually used all that much unless he has to. If there's with an injury and Clyde has to step in, they do not feel like uncomfortable putting in Clyde. And I think that's why he's on the roster. Okay, let me get back over here and see if we're missing anything. Nothing to this point. Except for the fact that KSHB 41 News announces that Travis Kelce buys an ownership stake in a racehorse named Swift Delivery. I don't think we could be any further from not giving a rat's ass. In the midst of cutdowns, you're choosing to tell us about Travis Kelce buying a racehorse named Swift Delivery. No doubt because Swift is in the title. And no doubt we honestly do not care. So what in the world? Okay. This is why people get their news from YouTube, not the actual media. For the love of God, what is going on over there? Okay, guys, we got about 25 minutes. Brett Veach and them will not make, if I'm not mistaken, last year they did not cut, even at 4 o'clock, they didn't have it out. I don't think it actually become knowledgeable till like 4:15 to 4:20. I mean, the league gets notified, but the beat reporters and the people that feed us the news do not usually get it. Sam says, hey, Mike, what about the Cam Thomas signing? I covered this earlier, but I'll cover it for you again, Sam. I liked it. It's pretty good. It's a 7th round pick. It's probably better than what we would have done in the 7th round, to be honest. He can get after the quarterback. I don't think the Cardinals used him properly. They stood him up a lot. I think he needs to be hands in the dirt. He can move inside and play defensive tackle in some of that Spags NASCAR packages. I think we'll use him properly, and I honestly think by the end of the year, he could have more sacks than Felix by the end of the year, in my opinion. Like, I think he's, I don't want to say he's as gifted as Felix, but his technique and everything right now is probably higher than Felix. So, yeah, he can probably do that. Yes, Nico Remigio was cut. He was cut. Brad Burgess says Miko should make the team. A lot of Chiefs Kingdom like Mecole Hardman. They think he's there. I don't really have a dog in the fight. I don't dislike Mecole Hardman enough, but I just don't see the upside there a lot. I feel like a lot of stuff that he does could be replicated very easily by a guy like Nico Remigio, to be honest. And I kind of would like to see how they go. But we're not going to see that. So it looks like LRZ and Nico is going to try to have to squeeze into that practice squad. Hopefully neither one of them claim it. So we'll see. Yeah, Sam, he says you figured they'd bring in a new DE. Glad they made the move. 100%, because, I mean, I know you watch us forever. I was one of the only people I felt like that was talking about we needed some line depth, some defensive line depth, and we just, all summer long, and everybody just ignores it. And I mean, even doing this, not the greatest move in the world, but at least it's something. Like, they had to do something, dude. Curtis says Cam is better than Mike Dana. Appreciate the comment. I am not going there yet. Let's see it. Mike Dana's pretty serviceable. Pretty serviceable. A pretty good rotational guy. I don't think Mike Dana's definitely like a top tier, but he can go. I think they were saying that he should have got like 18 million, 16 million in free agency. That was crazy. I think he done the best he could do re-signing here. How long do you think it will take for Kadarius Toney to make the Chiefs Ring of Honor? I think they're already like printing it up right now. It's probably gonna be unveiled like week 3, week 4. Truman Jones was not making the roster. It remains to be seen. It's still between him and Cam, or not Cam, I'm sorry. Him and Malik Herring, and I don't think either one of them done enough to actually say they could make it more than the other guy. I feel like it was just like 2 old women fighting in a Kroger parking lot out there. So, I mean, they can go either way they want. Heck, until Omenihu gets back, they may go with both. They may just take 4 on the defensive tackle, just take more defensive ends that they can kick down inside. So who knows? But yeah, I'm with you. I don't think Truman Jones and them were like good enough to make the team, but it's sad that you even had to project them on the freaking roster, dude. Captain Freedom says, not meaning to change the subject, but I saw a Blue Chew commercial, and I thought you guys made it up. No, man, Blue Chew's real. It's real, and I don't know why they haven't sponsored us, actually, because Blue Chew, I mean, come on now. Like, we've done more for Blue Chew than Blue Chew's done for Blue Chew. Jeez. Doug says, Magic Mike, who can slip through and get on the practice squad? I think a lot of these guys are going to be on the practice squad. I think the majority slip through. Justin Ross, Kadarius Toney, and Nico are the 3 that I would think have the worst shot of slipping. I think LRZ could probably pretty safely get through. I just don't see how you can put him on your 53. He's just not football ready enough. And some of these teams fighting us need to have deeper rosters. Like, they can't afford to give up a roster spot. So, yeah, I think the majority of them will get through. It'll be those 3 wide receivers. John Doe says, how many more receivers are left? They haven't announced the last one. Or the last 2, maybe. I think they haven't announced 5 or 6. But we're all pretty much agreeing that it's probably going to be Sky Moore, and it's going to be Mecole Hardman. Yeah. Well, still nothing out here, baby. Brett's sitting on it. He's sitting on it. He's got 20 more minutes. The Browns have finished making their roster. Does anybody care about that one? I don't think anybody does. But the running back position is starting to honestly become super obsolete. They're only taking 2. Jerome Ford and Pierre Strong. So I guess that's putting Chubb on the IR for 4 weeks, obviously. Huh. They're going to take 4 quarterbacks? What? They're going to take Huntley, Thompson, Robinson, Watson, and Jameis Winston all? What in the world? See, this is why Cleveland sucks, man. Like, they're just never. Dude, what are you doing taking 4 quarterbacks? Like, every time that you think maybe Veach makes a weird move, look around, and you're like, good grief, what in the world are these teams doing out here, bro? What in the world? Terry, what's up, Terry? He says, CEH, come on, he needs to produce as Sky does. Yeah, they both need to have a good year this year. Again, I don't know how much they're going to be able to. I don't know if Clyde gets a lot of chances. I think he's going to be relegated to maybe more of a pass catcher, which obviously could maybe suit him more this stage in his career. But yeah, I don't think I do not see Sky getting to the mark that he needs to get to. I think he needs to get to 45. I'll say 45 to be comfortable, but somewhere between 40 and 50 receptions. He needs to get to 500 yards. He needs to get to 4 to 5 touchdowns to look like he's progressing. And I don't know with our team if he's going to be able to get there, unless it's out of necessity, like he has to. If they have to play him a bunch, and Mahomes finally has to throw him the ball, I think he could do it. Like, I don't think Sky's so bad that if you throw him a wide open ball, like a lot of people just think he can't catch, he can't do nothing. No, if you get Sky the ball quickly, he can catch the ball. He can make people miss. You got to use him right. He's been open on some crossing patterns and some deep balls, and Mahomes has missed them. Mahomes hasn't looked his way. He's been a decoy sometimes. So, yeah, I mean, he can do it. It just doesn't feel like it's ever going to happen. So, just not too much worried about him. Sky's probably going to do what Sky does this year and go on, and then that's it. Travis, he says, does Sayaki Ela fit our DT room? Man, I remember him coming out last year, and it would be kind of a fun fit. It kind of reminds me of that big boy we signed from Washington last year, Danny Shelton. Remember, kind of, we thought he would maybe do something, get on the roster, and I don't remember if he made the initial 53 or he went to the practice squad, but he kind of flopped a little bit, and then he ended up going somewhere else. He never could get on the field. But he's got, I mean, honestly, I feel like he's probably just as good or better than Farrell and Dickerson. Like, he's right there with them. So, yeah, I think he could be in the room for sure. Just Cogdill says Chiefs brought in a new tight end. Yes, sir. Peyton Hendershot. We broke it right here, baby. I'd absolutely love to see Steele get some touches. I think Steele gets a lot of touches. I think he's probably, well, maybe not a lot, but I honestly would give him 5 a game minimum right off the rip. Let's see what he can do. Maybe if he could go early. So, look, if he gets a lot of early carries, maybe that softens the defense up for Pacheco to hit a home run. Or if he goes late on a tired defense, he breaks more tackles, and they don't want to hit him. It hurts to hit that guy, believe me. So, yeah, I mean, I guess you could use him any way you wanted, and that's the beauty of having Carson Steele. Sam Lofton says Irv Smith got cut. Yes, sir. If I'm not mistaken, he was one of the first guys that got announced today. Sean says we need to cut 18 more. Is that the number? Somewhere around there. I think, yeah, that's probably it. I think I said like 15, but see, I'm including people like DJ Miller, people like that I think are obviously getting the axe. I'm curious to see how they round up the linebacker room and the corner room. I think that's the one. I'm pretty much just sold on Mecole Hardman and Sky Moore's getting the last receivers. So I kind of want to see what they do with the offensive line, defensive line, and the corners. And basically those 3 and linebackers are the only ones left that we don't really have a good what's it called? like a good grasp on right now. So, yep. Well, the Chiefs got about 15 minutes to go. So while we're waiting on them, just want to take another few seconds to shout out our sponsor of this video, BetUS. If you want live wagering on all major games with the best variety in the business, plus 24/7 personalized service 365 days a year, then BetUS is where you want to be. There's tons of prop bets with Chiefs players, wins totals, and much, much more. And right now they're offering a 125% sign-up bonus up to $2,000 on your first 3 deposits. So come make some bets with us today at BetUS by clicking that link in the description or the pinned comment below. Let's freaking go. The Chiefs and BetUS pairing up just nicely, like a fine wine and a cheese, to put some cheese in that bank account. That's what they're doing. And yeah, I'm going to throw on, look, I'm throwing on the over. I've said this already. I'm throwing on the over for Xavier Worthy. 4.5 touchdowns is what they're putting him at. I'm taking the over all day on that. Okay. On the next live we do, Steve will be back on here with me. I think we're going to pull BetUS up. We're going to pull up the website live. And we're going to let you guys make some bets for us. We're going to make the ACU crew. We're going to let you guys make some bets on what we should do. And we're going to make some live bets with you. And that you guys can download the app, put on $10, you'll get back like 15. Put on 20, you'll get back like 30. So you can do that up to 3 times. It's awesome. It's easy if you do that. If you don't do it, okay, cool. I know a lot of people don't like to do it. That's cool. I ain't going to force nobody. But yeah, they're a good sponsor. They're helping us try to get us to full-time. They're trying to get us full-time Chiefs content creators. They're helping us. They're putting a little money in our accounts. They're doing the Lord's work, trying to help all Chiefed Up grow. So we just shout them out. We appreciate what they do. And yeah, man, we're going to let you guys make some bets for us, and we'll do that next time just for the fun of it. And you guys don't be making us lose all of our money now, though. Let's be sensible with some of this. Let's be sensible. We're not going to put a down payment of a house on Patrick Mahomes to throw 46 interceptions. That's not happening. Sam says, Mike, do you think they bring Prince back to the practice squad? They may put an offer in on Prince to come to the practice squad. At the same time, no. He's been there now for a year. He's had 2 preseasons, and it's not looked very promising. Now, again, it's not been the worst. So might they? Yeah, I think they will offer it. He may just elect to go somewhere else. Lacey says, just got here. Any surprise cuts? Well, did you think that Kadarius Toney was getting cut today? Because he did. Justin Ross got cut today. Irv Smith has been cut. The Chiefs have also traded for a tight end. Tight end 4, Peyton Hendershot, traded a 6th-round pick, a conditional pick, to the Dallas Cowboys. We've got rid of Nico Remigio, to the chagrin of most of the kingdom. Yeah, there's been some cuts. Chris Roland Wallace, the UDFA, looks like he has made the roster. Now, that's a surprise make, in my opinion. Maybe not a super surprise make. How crazy is it, though? And shout out to the Chiefs. Shout out to Brett Veach. Shout out to all of the scouts and the scouting departments. The fact that you can get, we have now a UDFA baby Thor. Carson Steele himself goes UDFA and gets a roster spot. Chris Roland Wallace comes in on the defense, not to be outdone. The defensive scouts say, hey, I can find one too. And they put a UDFA on the team. Dude, that's big. A back-to-back Super Bowl champion, and you're able to fit 2 UDFAs on the squad? That means we are restocking. We are doing what we need to do to keep this thing rolling, baby. So that is great. That is great. Sandra, she says, still don't understand trading Snead. He covered the best out there without getting a flag. He was worth what he wanted. Sure, he would have come down to stay on a winning team. Yeah, I mean, I felt like it just kind of come down to like they had to try to decide, were they going to keep Snead or were they going to keep Chris Jones? And they chose to take Chris Jones. That's basically all it come down to. And it sucks, but football's a business, and the way they get paid and everything, they just can't. They couldn't afford to do both, and I don't know how they did both or why they couldn't do both. Like, I felt like they could maybe weasel it out, figure out some way to do it. But that's just what happened. They chose to take Chris Jones, and Snead's a good football player. He really is. We got a 20 bomb from our boy Sam Lofton. By the way, Sam, I hope you are enjoying the Kansas City Chiefs cooking, the grilling apron I sent you. I hope you're having a good time with that. Let's freaking go. ACU crew, Mike working hard on a roster cut down to give it up for him. Appreciate you, Sam. Appreciate the 20 bomb, baby. It goes a long way. You just paid my minimum wage today, baby, and I love it. And I appreciate you for it. And yeah, I'm doing the Lord's work out here, trying to relay some news when I can, and just trying to, that way you guys don't have to spend all day scrolling. You can drive down the road, listen in your car. You can listen at your work desk. You can listen at the gym. You ain't got to scroll, but I'm putting it in your ear. I'm putting it in your ear in front of your eyeballs. I'm putting it out to you so you ain't got to do all that. You don't got to do it. Is "on't" a word? Is "on't" a word? You don't got to do it. You ain't got to do it. "Ont's" a word here in Kentucky, I think. I'm just going to say it. You know, people are out there on their porches. We got a lot of people out on their porches at nighttime, you know, just hyped up on stuff around Kentucky. Snorting the blue chew, if you will. Just hyped up on wiener dope. Just out there just with the coyotes on their front porches at night. That's what Kentucky's known for, baby. And it gets wild, you know. I'm having to dodge them. Pop's in the house, I think. I seen Pop's dropping the 20 bomb. Pops, love Pops. Pops, we got to watch some football. It's almost football time, baby. It's almost football time. Dude, I don't think you guys would know that I wouldn't be here today if Pops wasn't blue chewed out 41 years ago. Pops blue chewed it up, and then I was created, and then he made me a Chiefs fan. Like, I'm obvious. I think he wanted me to become a Chiefs fan before I could read, and success, that did happen. Probably about the age of 5 to 6. The earliest memories I can ever think of all revolve around the Chiefs. Honestly, it's about the Chiefs or sports in some way. So, yeah, Pops is to blame for me being on here telling you guys stuff. So take it out on him, baby. Instead of telling me I don't know ball, you tell Pops he don't know ball. Because Pops taught me a lot about football because of the Chiefs. Man, I tell you too, a lot of people think because we're all from Kentucky here that we have to be bandwagoners, that you can't be real Chief fans. You wasn't born and raised. Well, let me tell you something. We don't even have a professional team in Kentucky, so I have no choice. It doesn't matter who I wanted to watch. I'm a bandwagoner by that sense because we don't have a professional team, okay? But he had me on the Chiefs. He was on the Chiefs since the 60s. He had me on the Chiefs since I could walk, since I could talk. I've got the Chiefs tattooed on my wrist. Look at this. Chiefs tattooed on the wrist, okay? Furthest from bandwagoner you've ever seen. Love it. Love it. Repping it in Kentucky. Always will. Until the grave, we're rolling Chiefs Kingdom out here. That's what we do. Okay, let's get back to some comments. Still waiting on Brett Veach. This guy has fell asleep because why? He's up in the middle of the night making trades. He's horned up at 8 a.m. signing Juju. This dude is freaking wild. He just won't sleep on a regular schedule, man. Pop says who we cut. Here, I'm going to tell you who we cut, Pops. We cut. Let's do a replay. Irv Smith. And then we traded Dallas for Peyton Hendershot out of Indiana, a sixth round conditional pick for Peyton Hendershot. He's going to come on as tight end numero 4. Okay, that's what's happening. Number 4, tight end 4. The Chiefs have cut Deneric Prince and LRZ out of the room. They've yet to announce it, but it's going to happen. Keontae Ingram and Amani Bailey's, you're going to be gone. So it looks like they're taking in Carson Steele. They've announced that he's going to make the team. So you're taking in Clyde, which they haven't really announced yet, but it's pretty obvious. They're going to take Clyde. They're going to take Pacheco. They're going to take Carson Steele. And I still think they're going to look somewhere for another running back. Very possible. I mean, they did just roll with 3 last year, so it's possible they'll just sit, but I think running back is on the table. You had Boston Scott get dropped today from the Rams. You had James Robinson, used to play for the Jags, played for the Saints. He got cut today. So there's a few guys that are popping up around the league. Matt Breida, guys like that the Chiefs really could look at. Wide receivers, Tony is gone. Kadarius Toney is out. Justin Ross to the bricks. Nico Remigio to the practice squad if you clear it. It looks like they're going to keep Sky and they're going to keep Mecole Hardman as their 6 and 7. If they only take 6, I presume they will take Sky Moore over Mecole Hardman. but I feel like they got to take 7, especially with the injury. They've not announced any offensive line moves yet. So we're still kind of wondering if they're going to take 9, if they're going to take 10. Are they going to put Chew Godric on? Is he going to be able to fight Lucas Niang? Is Ethan Driscoll, the 7th, the UDFA out of Marshall, is he going to be able to slide on? Is CJ Hansen, the 7th round pick, going to sneak on? How's that going to work? So we don't know nothing there. Of course, on the defensive side, Cam Thomas, they traded for him last night, 7th round pick. So they're probably going to cut Herring or Truman Jones. Technically, they could probably take both if they only take 4 4 defensive tackles. I don't know why I said wide receivers. But they've not announced any defensive tackles. They've not announced any defensive ends. Linebackers, they cut Swayze Bozeman. They cut our boy Swayze. He's probably going to go to the practice squad. Swayze can flat out ball. I'm putting him on the practice squad all day. And it looks like Chris Roland Wallace, UDFA, is going to make the team. Initial reports is that he is going to make the team. And he played 74, 75, somewhere in that range, percent of his snaps in the preseason in the slot as a nickel. So that's telling. Maybe they are going to make McDuffie play out on the edge a little more than he wants to. You know, he'll play anywhere. I think I don't have a problem with McDuffie playing the edge. I just think they want him to be versatile because they know when he was drafted. I told Steve, anybody that would listen, I said, there's one guy that I would trade up for, and it was Trent McDuffie. I was watching it with Pops. I was watching it with Steve. They traded up, and I said, please God, let it be Trent McDuffie. And it was. Me and Pops high-fived. Steve didn't love it, but he also didn't want a corner. Okay, you all know how Steve reacts to lots of to picks he don't love. But yeah, that's the way it went. Trent McDuffie can flat out play, so it's not a knock against Trent, but he's got to play more outside. You can't be CB1 and play nickel the entire time. That's insane. You can't be a CB1 and just play nickel 65% of the snaps. So yeah, so it's looking like Deion Bush might make the team, or it's looking like maybe if Chamari now falls back to the safety and they don't count him as the DB, Kamal Haddon could slide out. So yeah, we're kind of just waiting on defense here. So let me bring this bad boy up. Let's see if there's been anything else. I hope that caught everybody up to date the best I could and as quickly as I could if you were just tuning in. Nothing, fellas, nothing. Brett Veach already put out the bait. He let it go. He's manning calls. He's doing this. He's doing that. We got 3 minutes till it's made official. I would say it's already official. I would say he's already sent it out. New York already has it in possession. They're processing all these cuts. We don't know what they are, by the way, because we're going to be the last to know. The beat writers and everybody's going to be the last to know. So I would say it's already happened. So let's see, baby. Sam says Lucas Niang. Yeah, I think he's probably back on. Him or Ethan Driscoll, Chew. But I think they go with Niang, sadly. I don't know what that says about us. I think that means our room is not as good as it was even last year. But okay, I think when he's now your main swing tackle, you might be in a little bit of trouble. Maybe they should go look somewhere. If you guys remember Jerome Carvin out of Tennessee that we had last year that got injured, we tried to put him on IR. They ended up reaching a settlement. He wanted to go somewhere else and play football. He didn't want to stay on the IR and be product of the Chiefs all year. He wanted to go out and play football. He actually got cut today, and the Chiefs actually really liked him. Now, I don't think he's a tackle. He's more of like an inside kind of a guy. That could be somebody they go look at, especially if they think maybe the Trey Smith thing can't get done. I don't know. Cole Keller says, we got Hendershot for a conditional 7th. It wasn't a 6th round pick we sent down. Okay, so it was initially reported as a 6th, but now they're saying it's a conditional 7th. Hey, that's even better news. That's an even bigger win. An even bigger win. Carr says, throw Steve under that bus. I will. If he's not here, I'm throwing him under. Because when he's on here, all he does is talk smack to me, and he don't listen to a word I say. He's all time rolling his eyes. He's trying to tell me I ain't know nothing. He tried to tell me he wanted Irv Smith on the roster. And I'm like, don't do it. Let's not do it. Okay. But we're going to get one wrong in a minute, and Steve's going to be right on it. I already know which one it is, and then he's going to get it back on me. But anyways, here we go. Jacob says, I'm wondering how many kick returners we will keep. Well, that was kind of my whole point the whole time. When LRZ was like, hey, man, we got to be a special. We got to win off special teams. You got to make the team. You're not going to win this roster being just special teams. You're not doing it. A kick returner and a punt returner is essentially just a skill player. It's a wide receiver, it's a DB, it's a safety in some crazy positions. It could be a running back. The way that's set up this year, Carson Steele could be a heck of a kick return option, okay? Sky Moore showed he can do it. They've got plenty of kick returners. You did not have to make a roster spot for LRZ to do it, and that's why. Dave Tobe said, I'm pounding the table for Nico Remigio. I tried to tell everybody that I don't care how much he pounds the table. That's not going to move the needle. I try to say this every year. There's always that one guy, and everybody's like, "Oh man," but Dave Tobe's pounding the table on him. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You do not make a team based on just being a punt returner. You have to do something else. You have to do something else. You only get 53 people on your roster. You have to do something else besides punt return. Not saying Nico couldn't, but they didn't feel like he was a good enough top 7 wide receiver, and so they wasn't going to just create an 8th spot for him or kick off somebody like Mecole Hardman for him. So that's what it is. But yeah, they've got a lot of kick returners. There's a lot, Jacob. So we will be just fine in that regard. Chief Kelsey says put CB and safety in one group. Yeah, I think that's the way it is. We took Shamari Connor, put him in the DB, so corner, but I mean, isn't a DB both? So they've basically got him listed as both, but we put him as a corner. Christian Roland Wallace now, I think they're putting like a DB. I don't think they're actually putting safety. I'm not for sure. But either way, yeah, you're 100% correct. I think a lot of our guys can do that. Shamari Connor can do it. Jaden Hicks could probably cover outside if he needed to. Yes, sir. Witchy said, and it's time. Yeah, it's past time. It's past deadline, baby. We do not know what's happening, though. I don't think there's not been nothing really dropping here. Yeah. Charles Goldman tweets out, it's officially release the cuts so I can go get a beer with my friends hour. You're right. Release the cuts so I can go have dinner. That's what it is. Like, let's do this. Let's get it going. We don't need to sit on these any longer. Like, we've had enough drama for the day. Let's get these bad boys out and let's get it going. And then I think me and Steve actually, by the way, appreciate you guys. There's been 1,100, 1,200, 1,300 people in here watching this religiously. Ever since I started 2 hours ago. Appreciate that, guys, because it's just me. It's just me by myself. You know how hard this is for me? Like, just do this by myself. Like, I'm used to having a crutch, baby. Actually, I'm not. I can probably talk to myself for days. But I'm on here doing this, and yeah, I just appreciate you guys. I didn't think there'd be this many people turning out to watch this, but yes, appreciate it. Hit that like button if you haven't, man. There's been thousands of people watching. Now, I do know there's 500-600 people on X, and everybody on X, shout out. If you guys aren't following us on X, please do that. We were up to 10,000 subs on X, and then I went through and I was like, look, X is peeing me off, man. They won't give us any impressions. They won't push our tweets out. So I'm like, what's going on with X? And I go through and look, and X went through this thing where there was like tons of like bots and stuff on there following us. And I was like, what is this crap? So I ended up deleting like so much. I deleted people that were inactive. I deleted anybody that didn't look like they loved the Chiefs. Gone. I just banned you from being my follower list. I would rather not have 10,000 followers if you're all just not going to interact than having 1,000. So yeah, I cut our followers in complete half. We're down to like 6,000, but you know what? We're growing it with people that love it, not a bunch of weird bots. Like, what are you doing following the Chiefs stuff, okay? If you're from, like, South Korea and you don't even like football, what are you doing, okay? So that's what I did. So if you're over there, I appreciate you. Share it. Follow our page. Appreciate you guys. Follow us over there. Shout out and let this get out to more people. Again, me and Steve are going to be back. So as soon as we get all these final names dropped, I'm probably going to head out. I'm going to have dinner. Me and Steve's going to get ready to come back on tonight. We were supposed to have, by the way, and you guys are going to know this because you're sticking with me because you guys are the real ones. We were supposed to have an ex-Chiefs player on tonight talking about roster cuts. We had the great, I don't know if you consider him the great, but we had the legendary Garrick Dieter was supposed to be coming on the show tonight. Garrick Dieter was coming on the show. He had to cancel last minute. He wrote me this morning and said, hey, man, something come up. I had to fly out of town. He had to go somewhere, so we are going to reschedule. We're going to try to do it on Friday. possibly Friday night. We might have an extra live or something. We might go live and talk to Gary Dieter. If that doesn't happen and something happens and we just can't get them on, just know we tried. A lot of people's been asking us to get on some ex-players and this and that and talk. And to be honest, it's hard to do because everybody's got such tough, tight schedules and things. And a lot of people don't even respond to it. They would rather, for some reason, hear me and Steve talk about something stupid than to hear Gary Dieter talk, which is weird. But yeah, so if that happens, it happens. If not, I tried to get that on here for you tonight so you guys could ask him some questions. A guy that played with Mahomes, a guy that went through roster cuts. I wanted the ACU crew to have that, but he couldn't do it, and I apologize. I tried to do it. The practice squad legend himself. You're right, Sam. I really tried to do it. But yeah, be sure and tune into that tonight as well. But let's hope we get these last few cuts here, baby. Like, we're tired of holding it out. There's just no more. We're just not doing it. We don't need this much drama in our lives, okay? It's 4:06 in the afternoon. We don't need the drama, Brett. Let's get it out. So I guess I'll answer some more questions while we're waiting then. How about that? Tube. Wait, my bad, Ruben. I'll get to you in a second. Tube says, thanks, man. First time on the stream. You did great. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, Tube. Hope you hit that sub button. We're trying to get to 33,000. We're almost there. So I appreciate you. We're trying to get to 50,000 before the season's over. So we're putting a big old fat goal out there that we're probably going to fail and crash and burn at. But you know what? Can't hit a home run if you don't swing, baby. So that's what we're doing. I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate the kind words, brother. Ron says, great, confident, and well-delivered. Go Chiefs. Appreciate you, Ron. Hope you become a subscriber now. If you've been a subscriber, if either of you guys have been a subscriber, I don't think I've seen you talk. I appreciate you, like, reaching out, saying some words to me, man. Get in here and talk to the people. This is a good crew, man. Appreciate you guys. Hope you guys continue to come back and talk to me. BC, when will the final list be out? It's supposed to be out 7 minutes ago. Again, it's probably been submitted in New York. It's going through the league. But we will be the last people to know because that's just the way it goes. Beat writers, everything that they'll feed to us and we get our stuff from there. So yeah, we're going to be the last to know. But last year, I want to say this took all the way to, good night. I want to say this took all the way to like 4:30. So, I mean, I'll try to stick around to 4:30. I think I'll call it at 4:30. If they don't got it out by 4:30, I'm sure you guys will see it somewhere else. Or again, I think me and Steve's going to jump back on here later tonight, and we might go through and talk about it, or we might not. It depends on how late Steve has to work. I'm not 100% sure. Either way, we'll either get back on the night and talk, or we'll end up doing a full video that you guys can catch tomorrow at 1 p.m., 12 p.m. Central, and we'll talk about the roster on there. So one way or the other, we will talk about it, give you all of our opinions on the final ones. Mark Gunnels is having a complete meltdown on Twitter. People are going way too far with these Sky Moore takes. He's only 23 entering year 3, and he's going to be wide receiver 6 at best. What's the issue? Mark, I'm just going to tell you, Mark, welcome to our world. Okay, Mark? Welcome to our world. I get it. I mean, I understand why people get so down on certain players. I get it. Everybody wants everybody to just contribute in a certain way that they see fit. But sometimes I just don't think Andy and them need certain things from players. They need other things that we don't even think is important, such as being able to block, being able to be in the right space at the right time, being able to just know every position in the playbook. That doesn't translate into stats necessarily, and so we kind of get down on it. But that's why we just try to keep it 100 with you. But man, I don't know. I don't think they're going to release these. Just don't. I don't think they're going to release him. I'm going to appreciate you, Sam. Appreciate you, brother. Travis says, we released Frank Gore Jr. Does he fit that fourth running back spot? He balled out in Buffalo. Steve was big on Frank Gore Jr. He's a little guy. He could. We'll see. I don't know who they're going to look at. They may not look at anybody. Nevada says, tell Steve to take a chill pill if the Chiefs happen to lose a game or two this year. Steve, like, he gets into it pretty good. I mean, I'll be pretty irritated as well. I try to see things more of like a positive, like a, what's it called? Like a end game in mind. But at the same time, I'm very, like, I played the game. I mean, I didn't play professionally, but I played high school, and different things. And we went through, and I've just always played it. I played it ever since I was 5 or 6. So I see it for more of like, I want execution. I'm more of like an X's and O's guys. Like I want you to execute well. I want you to do this and do that. And I'll look at it from that kind of logical perspective. Steve also played a little bit too, but he's hard on him. Steve's big about effort. So like if he feels like they're not giving you the full effort, that's when he'll go ham. So like a couple years ago we played the Bengals. It was that year that they were just talking so much smack, and then we went in there and it looked like we just half-assed it the whole game. And then you had players like Juan Thornhill and Binky, the defensive lineman. You had them on there, and they were like, "We try so hard, guys. Quit being mean to us." And Steve got so mad about that. He's like, "You didn't try." So yeah, but I don't blame him. Sometimes it's wild, dude. Like it feels like sometimes they do have those weekends and those games that just feel so big to the fan base, and it feels like the team's just asleep. And I mean, that happens with a lot of sports. We're also Kentucky basketball fans. So we know about it. Like every year under Coach Cal, we've got a top 25 team, and we go into the NCAA tournament and sleepwalk and get beat in the second round. Okay. So it's not talent. In our case with Cal, it's coaching. He has no idea how to do X's and O's, it feels like. But other than that, that's what it is. Like, so in every sport, it does happen. Teams will show up to beat you if you're everybody's Super Bowl, which the Chiefs are. And it's tough to match that intensity week in and week out. But the Chiefs do find a way to do it when it matters. And that's what counts. Mike says, "You're kicking the ass, Mike." Appreciate you, brother. Jay says, "Great content." Appreciate you, Jay. Ruben, love these dudes. Appreciate you, Ruben. Heike Moses doing great, Mike. Keep going. Appreciate you, Heike. Tube says, "Just sub today." Appreciate you, brother. Caught the stream by accident. First time on your channel. Heck yeah. Hope you like it, man. Stick around, watch some videos. We're trying some new stuff. We do a lot of shorts. YouTube loves pushing our shorts way more than they love pushing anything else. So if you ever go to like the search bar and just put Chiefs in at the top, boy, yeah, it's hard to find a full-length video of us unless you've watched us, but they love to push our shorts. So a lot of people just think we're a shorts channel. It's pretty hilarious, but no, we actually do lives. We'll do other things. Iko, I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. He says, "Where's Steve?" Steve's at work still doing the day job. We're trying to make this to where it's full-time so we can get more like up-to-date videos, more same-day releases, more lives, more just content in general, just trying to be better. And it's tough to do when we have 40-hour-week jobs. I've kind of weaseled out of mine, trying to get to the full-time, trying to do more stuff. That's why we've kind of transitioned just a little bit. We're trying to get Steve to that point too, but we're a little bit out. Like we need a few more sponsors. Everything helps. Just that $4.99 a month just to become a member helps so much. Like we seen a YouTube channel the other day. They only had like 4,000, 5,000 subs on the whole channel. Like we're pushing 33. They had 5,000 subs on the whole channel, but they had 250 subscribers out of their 5,000 subscribed to their $4.99 membership. And by the end of it, YouTube sent them a check every single month. And just from having 250 subs, they got paid over $1,200 per month just for having that. And that's 3,000 subs. And so it does go a long way. So that's why we try to like push it. We try to give away stuff. We try to give incentive for you guys to be there. We'll do members only lives. We do things like that. We also got a Patreon that's only $1. We haven't got to put a lot on there yet because Steve's been working a lot here recently. But we try to do 1-2 videos a week on that. It's $1. We give away a signed jersey, signed stuff a lot over there. So yeah, we try to make it fun. But yeah, just every little thing helps, man. But we appreciate you guys being here. Just watching helps. Brian says, this channel's exploding. I used to be somebody. Brian, you still are, man. We just had that hangout, man. It was so fun to hang out with everybody at the Chew with the Crew. We did that in KC. We're hoping that next year we get to do something similar. It would be 3 years in a row. But we're trying to add some extra stuff in, maybe doing a couple meet and greets rather than just one night, trying to do maybe one a little bit north, maybe doing one in KC. We're just experimenting. There's a lot of things we want to try to pull out. But Chris, member for 13 months. Appreciate you, Chris. Chris is an OG. He says, hello, Juju. Goodbye, Tony. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm okay with that trade. I mean, I'm tired. Tony's like when you're thirsty and you just got like a squeezed up orange, like a half of an orange that you made orange juice with that morning. Then you come home and you put it in the squeezer and you're trying to get that extra little juice out of it. That's trying to get something out of Tony. And I feel like you're just putting a lot of effort in it and you ain't getting nothing to drink. That's what it is, baby. Pops was asking some questions in the chat. I like that. Who you guys think snags Justin Ross? Yeeks. I'm going to have to go through and read these people. Got to read some of these. Julia says Bengals and Raiders for me. There you go. They really could, man. Really could. Welsh Chiefs fan. Great content. Appreciate you, brother. Great job wading through the crazy stuff for us, Mike. Thanks, Witchy. Doug, Magic Mike putting in some work. Appreciate you, Doug. Adam, I hope we run a monster truck package with all these tight ends. Yeah, I mean, we're going to have 4. The Chiefs routinely will take 4. It would be nice to, like, we run a lot of 12 personnel, which is the 2 tight ends. We run a lot of 13 personnel, too. There's times that we will run a lot of 13 personnel, and that's 3 tight ends. So when you hear people say 12 personnel, 13 personnel, that's what that means. So 12 personnel is 2 tight ends, 13's 3. It'd be nice to run some 14 personnel, baby. How about 4 tight ends on the field, and let's just shove it down their throat? Could you imagine 4 tight ends? And then we also put in, say, let's put in a big ugly. Let's put in a backup defensive lineman or somebody, kind of like we used to do with Dontari Poe, and have them lead blocking for Carson Steele. What in the world? Who's stopping that? 4 tight ends and a defensive end, like a lead blocker? You know, like who can we do? Who's a big old athletic defensive tackle? Like a Matt Dickerson? He can move. That boy can move. He can run. Put Matt Dickerson in there to lead block for Carson Steele on a 4th and 1 with 4 tight ends, and let's see how many people stop that. I'd be willing to say nobody. Not a single person. Justin, best Chiefs content on YouTube. Appreciate you, Justin. There's a lot out there, man. There really is so much. It just seems like it's popping up every day. Everybody's taking advantage of that Chiefs winning. That's what they're doing. Wait, did Kadarius Toney just tweet? Okay, Kadarius Toney just tweeted this out. Oh, no. Here we go. 22 minutes ago, Kadarius Toney tweets this. The Joker, and says, and here we go. I think Kadarius Toney, look, I like Kadarius Toney. He's fine. I'm sure he's a cool dude. I feel like he's constantly kind of like a lone wolf. He's a loner. So I feel like he really like identifies with like the Joker. Like, I think that's why he goes by Young Joker. I think that's why he loves the memes. Like, I really do feel like he feels like it. And at the same time, I honestly think that I don't think he'll stick around with the Chiefs on the practice squad. I think if he gets a chance to get out of here, he'll go. If anything, out of spite. I just kind of feel that way. But we'll see. It's crazy he appeared. He's always got something going with that social media, man. I thought he was grass last year when all that Instagram stuff was going on. Yikes, dude. Somehow he weaseled his way out of that one. Well, still nothing, guys. Still no releases. We're 4:20. We're 20 minutes past deadline, and for some reason, we're not getting the last few spots. Let me dig in just a little more. I've got a few tricks up my sleeve to find these bad boys. Got a few tricks up my sleeve. I'll try them out. We'll see what we got. If my computer don't freeze up on me. JCP's a new member. Appreciate you, JCP. Heck yeah. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Let's go. You know what, JCP, since he's on here, he gets a little bit of this for the membership.
Let the boy watch.
Let him watch. That's what's up, baby. Let's see if I can get through this. Nico's still the last one. Nico Remigio's the last one that's made public. Daggone, y'all gonna do something today, Brett? I'm gonna call him. Come on, Brett, let's go. Let me see. There's one more secret. There's one more secret sauce that we can dig into here. Let's see what we got. No, it didn't work. I don't know, man. They're hushing about it. So look, here's what I'll say. I think it's safe to say that that we haven't talked about these players, but I think it's safe to say these guys are gone, right? Montreal Washington's probably out. Cornell Powell is probably out. I'm almost positive they're going to keep Sky and they're going to keep Hardman. So that's two guys that are out. So feasibly, what all do we have to do? They're not taking Amani Bailey. That makes 3. And they're definitely probably not taking Keontae Ingram. So there goes 4 more off the cut. Okay, so we all know that. That should just be common knowledge at this point. Trading for Peyton Hendershot means that Baylor Cup is gone. Okay, I'm sorry, but Baylor Cup's out. So that's 5 now. So you're feasibly down to you got 5, and I don't know how many more we actually had to get to. I've got like something scratching my nose, or itching my nose, rather, not scratching it. A hair or something. Oh, daggone. Okay, well, anyway, there's like 5 or 6 that we've got that we know are gone. So I think that we presumably will have to cut maybe 10 more after that. I'm not 100%. I wish I had the exact tracker with the actual numbers. Let me count these bad boys really quick. So we're down to... They're saying they're down to 70? Oh, so if they're down to 70 already, then you only have to make six cuts? No, I'm crazy. That'd be 63. That'd be 63. So they got to make 17. So you got to have 17 more moves from here. I feel like that might be right. Okay. So 17 more moves from here. Y'all ain't going to believe this one, by the way. Hold up. Tom Pelissero is now reporting this. The Vikings have waived 2022 first-round pick safety Lewis Cine out of Georgia. Do you guys remember Lewis Cine out of Georgia? That cat right there was known, like, he could hit. He kind of reminded me a little bit like Greg Wesley back in the day. Kind of wild that they need corner help and DB help, and they cut Lewis Cine. What's the deal with Lewis Cine? Like, I remember when he come out of Georgia, he was supposed to be, like, decent. Look into him just a little bit. That might be somebody Brett takes a little flyer on. He likes to do that with safeties ever so often. That's why he brought in that cat out of Florida for a little while that got cut earlier this year. I mean, they brought in Gillespie over and over again. He just got cut earlier today. Huh. Says, in fact, Lewis Cine is on the roster bubble. His stake in remaining with the purple team in 2024 feels like it's 50-50. There is no financial incentive to cut ties with Cine, but if Minnesota's coaching staff takes the plunge, these are possibly 4 destinations for his services, ranked in ascending order, with one being his most likely landing spot. Okay, well, let me bring this up. How about I'll let you guys read this with me. The Titans, they think the Titans would be a good fit. Are the Chiefs going to be on this list? I wouldn't think we would. We don't really need a safety. The Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Ravens. That makes sense. Okay, that makes total sense. Dude, I tell you, that's wild, though. Lewis Cine, I wonder what happened with him. I don't really routinely watch a lot of Vikings football, so I couldn't really tell you why he got cut. He probably just stinks. Not everybody works out, man. That's what I'm saying. It's crazy to think about. Like, sometimes we give up on these players, but daggone, they got him in 2022. That's essentially 2 years. Yeah, I guess so, man. Huh. Well, come on, Chiefs. Let's go. Let's get it going, baby. I'm tired of talking about Lewis Seen. Nothing. Okay, guys, there's nothing here. I'm going to give them 5 more minutes. I'll give them 5 more minutes till they drop. We'll talk about it. We're watching looks like we're watching a Matt Derrick here in the background. But anyway, yeah, we'll do this 5 more minutes, and then I'll have to call it a day. But I hope I can get it through here. We got a new member in the house, BC3660 in the house with a membership. Appreciate you, brother. It goes a long way. Appreciate you. Dang. Ruben says, wait, Buckstech says, YouTube is obsessed with shorts. My views are likely 10 times higher with shorts. Yeah, they're competing with all these. Every platform is competing with shorts right now, so it's easier. Ruben says, Pal's working on that 10-year practice squad, baby. 100%. It's just insane. I mean, he's just the practice squad king. Okay, so Chief Kelsey said Seen only played in 10 games in 2 seasons. Yeah, maybe he just couldn't grasp it. Might be too slow. I remember he was pretty slow coming out. That was one of his knocks coming out of Georgia. He wasn't the most athletic. But he was projected to be like a 3rd-round pick. And then the closer the draft got, he started sliding his way like close to the 1st round. I remember a lot of Chiefs mock drafts actually had Lewis Seen, Chiefs taking him. And I think he actually went before we even picked. So, kind of wild, dude. Kind of wild. Melissa, what's up, Melissa? She says, do you think we could let go of Niang and keep Ian Driscoll and bring back Niang on the practice squad? It's a possibility, but I think they would keep Driscoll for the practice squad because he shows a lot of... Driscoll shows a lot of promise. He shows really good athleticism, but the thing about Driscoll is he's just not ready to go right now. If he had to play against, the Joey Bosa's of the world, he's just not there. Niang can hold his own. He's not great by any means, but he's not like actually the worst in the world. He's just serviceable. So no, I think they will definitely keep Niang over Driscoll. Driscoll, though, deserves to be on the practice squad. He's got a shot. Elgin. What's the Cash App? God, I can't even remember off the top of my head. I think it might just, it might be in the chat. I don't know. I think sometimes if you ask, what's his name? If you ask that bot, he'll tell you. That night bot. Sometimes he'll go at it. Nope. It don't work anymore. I don't know what it is. I don't know what Steve's Cash App is. I really don't. Alex, thanks for hanging out all afternoon, Mike. Appreciate you. Appreciate you guys for watching too, man. I tell you, I'm trying not to turn off my monitor. But yeah, it's a lot of work and stuff, but I mean, it's fun to get on here and just talk with you guys. I mean, if I'm not doing that with you, I'm still glued to my phone. I'm still doing everything I got to do. So, I mean, why not just be on here talking with you guys? At least it's fun getting some perspective and just, just hanging out, man. Travis says CJ Henderson's been released. Yes, he was released earlier today. I could see Brett Veach taking like a flyer on somebody like that, right? That's right up Brett Veach's alley. CJ Henderson. who's the other corner that got released today? Caleb Farley, Tennessee. So, yeah, I could totally see it. Okay, here it is. Yeah, Ray says this is the Cash App. So, yeah, you guys donate to Steve. While he's at work, he'll be like, what's happening? And then I'll be like, I don't know. Let Steve have something. David, how many can they send to the practice squad? Is there a limit? There is a limit. That's usually changed about every year. Let me check for you. If I'm not mistaken, it's allowed to be 13. Unless they've switched it. 16. So you can do 16 now. Yeah, you get 16, and then if I'm not mistaken, you get an international exemption, which they've already given to Chew Godric. So that means you can't use LRZ as an exemption. So he would just have to take a spot on the thing on the practice squad, which I think they're fine with it, to be honest. Oh, they ain't gonna release these fellas. I don't know what's going on, but they do this every year. It's supposed to be done by 4, and I swear the Chiefs will trickle in stuff. And then once they throw out the players they want to bait, some trade offers and stuff with, it goes radio silent for hours. So there is no telling. Ramen, I just got out of work. Who'd we cut? Here, I'll tell you really quick, and then I'll probably have to bail out. But I appreciate all you guys being here. But here's what's happened so far. They've cut Kadarius Toney, Justin Ross, Nico Remigio. So, Montreal Washington and Pal's coming next. They're going to take Sky. They're going to take Mako Hardman. Running backs, they've not yet cut Amani Bailey or Keontae Ingram, but they're probably going to. They have cut Deneric Prince, and they have cut LRZ. They've kept Carson Steele. They've cut Chris Oladokun. They've not really mentioned any offensive linemen. They cut Irv Smith. After they cut Irv Smith, they traded a conditional 7th-round pick for Peyton Hendershot out of Indiana, played for Dallas. They've not talked about any defense, but they did pick up the kid from Arizona yesterday. They cut Swayze Bozeman. There's not been any other linebacker news. And then they cut Kelvin Joseph yesterday, obviously. But they've made no more cuts. They have announced that Chris Roland Wallace as a UDFA probably will make the team. So I think he's going to make it. Again, he's a UDFA. So I thought he would play more safety, but it seems like he's going to be used more as like a DB to cover the slot, maybe kind of like what Jamari Connor does. So I don't really know how that's going to work or who that's going to affect. Maybe Kamal Haddon, maybe Deion Bush. Not for sure, but that's about the extent of everything right now. So they're just kind of dragging their feet on these last few. So, I don't know if I can get them in here before I've got to jump off here. But it's the defensive line room, I think, is what's taking the time. Like, I honestly don't know how they decide, because it's not like anybody just flat out won any position on the defensive line. I don't think anybody just flat out won it. Like, it was all like, geez, it was just like, it's going to be just whoever's showed up to work earliest today, I guess. I don't know how you're going to determine it, because I don't feel like anybody done anything that great. So who knows? Yeah, just who knows? I think that's probably going to be it. Yeah, Steven says, I looked on the website and I seen Louis Rees-Zamet's on the 53. No, they don't have the website updated yet. It's not updated. They've cut Louis Rees-Zamet. He's going to go to the practice squad. But this is what we said would happen with LRZ. I think if over the past month, I know there's been channels out there that have just been LRZ obsessed. People's fed a lot into the LRZ. We did a lot of LRZ content too there for a while. It was hot at the moment, and it felt like he was going to possibly get to a point where he could feasibly make the team, but he just couldn't do it. It just proved too hard for him. It was too much to make up. He needs some time. And I think this was obvious after you seen his first couple carries, even at camp. It was obvious. So, yeah, I mean, it's not a knock against LRZ, and honestly, I think he's going to continue to get better. Next year, he probably got a really good chance to make the team, maybe. So let's see. Pop says Bucky's hoodie. Yep, I got it at Bucky's at the new one they built right above Bowling Green. I love Bucky's, man. Had to rock the hood. Have to eat the beef jerky. The barbecue's not too shabby either. You know, I'm kind of a Kansas City barbecue snob, but I mean, the barbecue sandwich is eatable. Let's put it that way. It's eatable. It's obvious. It's better than anything you can get in Louisville with barbecue, just about. Kansas City's just got the best, That's what happens. Carrie from Facebook. There we go. Carrie on Facebook. How are you? I hope you're good. Any news on Jaden Hicks? There's not, but Jaden Hicks will 100% make this team. Yeah, there's no way. If Jaden Hicks got cut, I would. Geez Louise. If they cut Jaden Hicks to the practice squad, he's getting picked up in about 4 seconds, and I would honestly have Brett Veach checked into a loony bin. I just don't think that's happening. So I think he's very good. Yeah, Ruben. Veach is on his own time, dude. And Sam, you're probably right. It probably will be 9 p.m. But yeah, okay, guys. Well, they're not going to release him. They're not going to release him. They got more to do, but it's going to drag out. Now we know what's going to happen. I'm going to say goodbye, and I'm going to get off here. And about the time I decide what I want for dinner, they're going to release every bit of them. And then I'm going to look stupid. And then you guys are going to say, why did Mike leave us? They released him in 3 minutes after he left. Let's make fun of him. And I'm sorry. But yeah, I think I'm going to have to be done for the night. Me and Steve could be back on tonight. We might just do a video to release tomorrow. Either way, you'll see us either tonight or tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. I know that YouTube does not notify you a lot. I get it. But if you haven't already, hit the bell on the way out. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. I appreciate you doing all that. And by the way, shout out to BetUS again for powering this. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all you guys sticking around and watching this with me, having some good Chiefs fun. We almost got football coming up here soon. So I appreciate you guys. Go Chiefs. Have a good one. There goes a sight from my soul.